Can you guys shut up for 30 fucking seconds while I read the ad?
No.
I gotta pay the bills.
I just had the best setup ever. I was going on Facebook and showing Gavin like pictures of hot girls like that a bit, and he'd go, and he'd look, and then I'd go look at another one, I go here, and he'd go, and then I got this horrible like shock image. And he goes, and I thought it was
The thing is, I was looking at it trying to figure out what it was. Nah.
What was it?
It was. I'll tell you the title for the. Let me tell you the title from it. It was the one Reddit link I have never ever clicked.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about then.
What was it?
Space dicks.
No.
Oh no, it's not.
No, it was.
Oh, he was a specific.
Oh, a specific one. I thought he meant a subreddit.
Oh my. No.
Is that okay, Gavin? What is that? Oh, what's that? It's a guy. It's a mouth.
I was.
I moved the trash can closer to Gavin, so when he starts throwing up.
Oh yeah.
Gavin threw up while we were recording
hold on.
something the other day.
Before we get to that.
Oh yeah, we should probably mention what's going on.
Yeah.
About 30 minutes ago,
Gavin's crawling, or not, Brandon's crawling around on the floor and his phone just went off.
about 30 minutes before we were supposed to go live with the podcast, we lost all power at the studio in the normal building. So it was a mad rush to bring all of our equipment over here and set up in this rudimentary fashion to make sure we still launched on time. So it was. We've had a very hectic past 30 minutes.
This is the first live podcast we've done in like a month.
I know.
right?
I was happy that we were going back to
Yeah.
live. I was really excited about it. We made some changes. We rewired almost everything in the studio.
Yeah.
And just the whole building lost power
The funny
today.
thing is that usually, because we record so late in the day and we've all done full days of work, usually I'm like needing to drink a Red Bull or something. But I've got one here. But all the power went out and everyone freaks out and they're like hauling ass, like dragging everything up. I don't need a Red Bull now. I'm wired.
What also happened was the power went out and there were no lights at all in the studio.
Oh, it's dark. I took a photo
Yeah.
of it. I posted it on Twitter
was it, just a
beforehand.
blank screen?
Yeah, I think you see like two lights from like the inner studio.
Yeah.
And we wanted this podcast to be like a cool thing where we're all wearing
Yeah,
bow
like
ties
we're
and
all-
stuff.
we're all
Then the
fancy.
power goes, I was like, it's kind of like after the fact now. It doesn't really matter.
Mine's all fucked up. Like I've been lifting
Yeah.
shit and like
Yeah.
running around. And
I brought a shirt especially.
your shirt's really nice.
I like it.
So the image that I showed Gavin was I found this one day while browsing Reddit, and I'm just gonna read you like headlines.
Okay.
You can guess when I get to it or not. It's Dads of Reddit. Here's a quick way to make a ponytail for your daughter.
That's a funny one.
Yeah, I am Arnold. Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger did not ask
Yeah.
me anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Carbon Planets turns Earth chemistry on its head. Sometimes when I play Hitman, ... Guy stores his own shit in condoms for snacks.
I know the link you're talking about. I never clicked
I
that.
read that
Wow.
and I just
Wait, for snacks? Is that what you said?
God.
For snacks?
Just reading the headline, I was like, I stopped.
The thing is,
I almost like knowing the title after seeing the picture now.
The thing is, he told me this yesterday. He was like, I'm never gonna click that. That's ridiculous. And then he showed me this picture. He's been showing me a bunch of pictures. I was like, what's this picture?
I was looking at it too because I thought it was a little weird, and then
God, what is wrong with the world, Gus?
That's absolutely disgusting.
That's amazing.
So, are the snacks good?
Let's see. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm kidding.
he's already had it.
So,
He's just eating it
My
again.
nose is running.
Me too. My eyes and my nose are watering.
Glasses are fogging up.
Glasses are fucking.
Too much stress.
Too much stress? Oh, God, I'm Bernie's slobbering.
I gotta go.
Oh, all right. All right.
All right.
And
Okay.
we are down one. And Gavin's about to go. Look at his eyes are watering
Can I
up.
have a tissue?
We made Gavin throw up while we were recording a Let's Play the other day. Michael and I are tagged.
Oh, God.
Do you know how bad Gavin hates wet bread? Something about like the soggy bread with this water all over it just makes Gavin want to.
let's not make him throw up. yet.
Let's make him throw up. So how you doing, Gus?
I had
Alright.
I had something. This was probably a good segue. I had something kind of gross happen to me earlier.
Oh yeah. I want to hear about this.
So, and then this is Brandon's fault, who we can't cut to this week.
Oh no.
You'll find out in a second. So, over the weekend, like I woke up one morning and my left ear kind of hurt,
Oh,
and I
no.
thought, oh, do I have an ear infection?
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor today, and I told him, doctor, this ear kind of hurts. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Can you take a look
I
at
think I
it?
know where this is going.
And he goes, okay. So he pulls out like his little ear-looking thing, and he's like, look in your healthy ear first. He looks in this ear. He's like, okay, everything's fine. Then he looks in this ear and he's like, whoa. And I'm like, I say, what? He goes, there's just some buildup in there. It's just kind of impacted.
So this is the ear from your ear thing.
Well,
podcast.
Yes. So he's like, there's some stuff in there. It's kind of impacted. We're just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to grab it. So he has like this little tool to try to like pull it out.
Is this thing like Total Recall that goes up Arnold Schwarzenegger's nose?
It's like a long stick with like a little loop at the end. Looks like a little lasso. So he's like digging around. He's like, oh man, it's really in there. He's like, hold on, let me call the nurse. So he gets the nurse to come in.
You got little fingers.
So the nurse comes in and she's got like this spray bottle with like a little needle attachment at the end of it, and I guess it shoots a pressurized stream of liquid.
Yeah.
So she's like, all right, well, I'm gonna just go ahead and shoot this in your ear, and we'll dislodge it and get it out like that. So I'm like, fine. So I'm like there at the doctor's office, and she starts like squirting it. She's like, man, that is not coming out. I'm like, what? She goes, then she's like,
there's liquid blasting.
yeah, she's like blasting liquid, high pressure liquid. Yeah.
It's super loud, right?
Yeah. And it's just not coming out. And she's like, huh, okay, well, we've got this solution that dissolves buildups like this.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna pour it in your ear, wait 5 to 7 minutes, it'll dissolve it, and we'll be able to blast it out with the water. Like, fine. They put the drops in. She's like, all right, wait here 5 to 7 minutes, I'm gonna come back. So she puts the drops in, leaves, I'm waiting there. She comes back in, she's like, all right, here we go. So she like gets the blaster thing again. She starts blasting it. She's like, it is not coming out.
Oh my God.
She's like, hold on, let me get the alligator clips. I don't know what the fuck. That's all she says as she walks
Look
out.
at the jaws of life real quick.
I like that they have like 4 tools that they have to go through.
They
So-
escalate. It's like tech support.
Yeah.
Get on to the next level.
So then she comes back in. She's like, well, we have this machine that we use in situations like this. I'm like, what? She goes, it's just gonna suck it right out of your ear. I'm like, what? She goes, hold on, don't worry, I'll be right back. So she leaves, and then her and the doctor come back in, and they're like
God.
carting this machine in, and it's got like a really long needle, probably like this long, and like at the tip of it is like a tiny hole, and I guess just a vacuum on the end with like a tiny point of suction.
So they shoved a 6-inch long needle in your ear.
Right. So the doctor looks in there again. He tries to scrape it out with the first tool. He's like, man, that is not coming out.
God.
So then he gets the suction thing, and he starts like jabbing around in there, and it kind of hurts. I'm not gonna lie. And he's like, he's poking, it's not coming out. He goes, we might have to give you like a week's worth of that dissolving solution, and you might have to do it every day and then come back. I'm like, what? And then finally he's like, oh, okay, there, I got it. And all of a sudden I could like hear, like
It's like the ocean.
It was like a superpower. I could hear everything. And then it was the most disgusting noise coming out. It was like,
Oh, good lord!
and I was like, oh, and it seemed to go forever. And then he pulled it out. He's like, nurse, and then he's just like hitting the paper towels like crazy.
God.
And then he like gets it in his hand.
Oh God!
And,
Tell me he had a glove on it.
he like as he's pulling it away from me, I catch a glimpse of it, and I'm like, hold on, let me take a picture of that.
my
No. Whoa! Holy crap! That's
No.
That'll be in the
God, Brandon's going.
No.
Was there a mouse in your ear? What the hell was that?
Why are we doing
Why
that?
did I look at it closer?
Like half the room has exploded and is starting to throw up.
I think that
I got it.
like
I got
3
it.
months of live podcast wearing that earpiece.
I wore that. Oh God! I wore that earpiece when you were on
Yeah,
vacation.
it's true. That's Oh, Jesus Christ!
Gavin, if you throw
Gavin, look how red Gavin's face is.
He wear the earpiece. So
Did you see it was brown, Gavin? It was like wet and brown.
No, you need to stop.
obviously, this will be in the link dump if you want to see it for some god awful
Don't
reason.
Don't do it. Don't do
Gotta
it.
mute my mic or something.
It'll be on Reddit as well.
So after they pulled it out and I took a picture, like I realized like he's like the doctor's like kind of freaked out. I taking a picture. I'm like, was that a weird request for me to take a picture of it? And he goes, no, surprisingly, when I pull stuff out of people, they always want to take a picture of it.
God, you want to take a picture of everying now? It's unbelievable.
Well, I figured this was a great podcast story. It's just like a direct effect of Brandon
unbelievable.
missing the earpiece. And like, I guess for a while I hadn't realized it, but I couldn't hear so well out of my left side.
Yeah.
And now I understand
Yeah, you
why.
don't realize how fucked up it
How
is
in the-
until like it's clear.
How did we win a fucking award? That's what I wanna know.
It's over there. It's
Yeah, the podcast award back here.
best gaming podcast.
Hey, thank you, podcast. Welcome, new podcast listeners.
What do you think was
Or
percentage
viewers.
of time that we talk about gaming on the podcast?
15%?
You think so?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I'd say 15%.
I feel like it goes up and down. It's sometimes we'll have a real gamey one.
Yeah. Real gamey, like probably what it
Look,
smelled like.
no more,
literally.
nothing else. That's it. That's
Kinda
quota
gamey.
for the podcast, right?
Okay,
I'm
you
sorry.
preempted me with your gross stuff.
I'm really sorry. I just apparently they just primed the pump for you. Oh my god, that
Wow.
was terrible.
Yeah, after
not
that
talking
happened
about
earlier, I made a tweet.
Priming any pumps of any sort.
Have you ever vomited from something just gross like
Yeah,
that?
I did yesterday.
That happened the other day when we were recording.
We were playing
Deathcraft 2.
which is Minecraft. It's Left 4 Dead skinned exactly like Minecraft, which
Yeah.
is really fun and awesome. But with, I guess, all Steam games, you can spray.
Yeah, you can spray
An
it
image.
into a wall.
So every corridor I walked down was different pictures of wet, soggy bread.
Michael and I had wet bread that we were spraying on the wall, different photos of wet bread. And then I think, was it Ray had a picture of Dan as well? it was Dan,
Dan and wet bread.
his partner on slow-mo team, and then within wet bread everywhere.
You remember those sprays that I made for CS back in the Drunk Gamers days?
Yeah, those are awesome. They were like speech bubbles.
They were speech bubbles.
Oh, that's cool.
It said like, "Holy shit, I suck at Counter-Strike." You spray it like next to dead people, then take a
that's awesome.
screenshot
Oh, that's
of it.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
That's really clever.
Then you'd send it to them, or something. I had to like,
Or
and
just a giant cock that ends in their mouth.
no, you can't like go over the player model. So you had to put it next to them, so it looked like it was part of the thing of them talking.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, and or thought bubbles.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I wish I was playing.
There was
something
one
after
moment where I was downed, and obviously when you're on the floor, you can just sit there and spraying bread around. I can't see anything.
Okay, not getting him back up, just letting him sit there with wet
Just
bread.
lying.
Bring it
around
onto
him.
your eyelids.
Yeah, I'm just lying on the bread.
How did you? We had a short that we shot. It was the only other short that you were in, which was the clone one, right?
I was in like 5.
Were you really? Were you in
Yeah.
besides? Well, that was the main one you were. Was the
Yeah.
clone one?
Wait, who are
Captain
you?
Dynamic.
He was a Captain Dynamic, yeah.
Yeah, did one with Jeff.
Mixed messages.
But the how did you suffer through that? The watching me eat soggy bread that entire
Well, because
time?
you had to take a bite of sandwich. I think it was on the outtakes as well. And then you had to deliver a line with the sandwich still in your mouth.
Yeah.
But obviously, we did several takes, right? So you're just like keeping this soggy bit of sandwich in there. It was really getting wet.
It was
And you were
nasty.
gagging, I was gagging.
But the bread itself was all wet too, because it was from a
Yeah,
it was
it was
from
in
the
your
cooler
mouth.
next door.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. It was from the...
Yeah, it was from the coffee shop.
The worst for me was the short we did with the interdimensional sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Food war.
Yeah, like we had bought the sandwich early in the morning, and then we didn't shoot the scene where I had to take a bite of it till like late afternoon, and it had been sitting out all day, and it was just like rancid and nasty.
Yeah.
Food props are the worst, man.
Yeah.
They're the absolute worst. Anytime we have food on a set, it's just a nightmare. It just gets like hard or nasty. It's like it goes to liquid or goes to solid. Like that's it. There's nothing in between.
There's no gas phase
There's
for
no
food.
There's no food phase. The food phase is like gone immediately. God, it's awful.
Like you mentioned, we won a podcast award for gaming. It's
Yeah,
back
yeah.
over there.
Can you grab it?
And we won that award, and then the next week we just finished reclassifying the podcast to comedy.
Hey, what? I didn't even know that was going to happen. When did that happen?
Last week after we released the
There you
last
go.
podcast.
So what was the reasoning behind doing that?
We felt we
won gaming.
talked. Yeah, we won.
Yeah.
We
We can move on.
Time to conquer.
We're on the
Conquer.
leaderboard.
We prestige. We start again now.
Yeah.
Well, actually, iTunes did a thing where they named the best podcast of the year, and they completely left out our entire category.
Yeah. That was actually the reason I
Was
decided
that really
to move.
was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Because
like,
comedy was the top one, and there was like one or two others,
Yeah.
and like there was no gaming, no hobbying, no.
even though it is a subcategory.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's completely left it out.
They said, "Fuck it, we're not doing it." Yeah.
So yeah, we're funny. We're a comedy podcast, so I figured, why not? Let's just change it.
I gotta say, there is an anti-gaming bias on the internet. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the internet wanting to forget what its roots are. Like that gamers were some of the original people online, but now as the internet's become more mainstream, there really is this like subversion of gaming culture on stuff like
Yeah.
iTunes and
Gaming-
even YouTube.
Gaming and porn.
Gaming and
We
porn.
fucking laid the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's anti-porn at this point, though.
So did the other awards we went to, which is a silver one behind Gavin and Jordan there, we went out for the IAW TV awards, and we won 2 awards for Red versus Blue. Now, that's during CES. Don't they always have the porn awards during
No,
CES?
they
too?
did. I think the last year was the first year there were separate weekends.
Oh.
Because they used to be where CES and AVN, or I think that's
AVN.
or AAA, or I forget, or
AVN.
adult. No, it's
He's
AE,
telling you
AE. I thought it was
It's
AEE.
the AVN Awards.
AVN.
The AVN Awards, but I think it's the AEE. It's the Adult Entertainment Expo.
Oh,
Is the
okay.
actual event. I went there once.
But it's
I went there
still
once.
the AVN Awards.
Yes.
But the AVN Awards are like the award show they have that you hear about every
So
year.
you went to that expo?
Yeah, I went when I was writing for Any Cool News. I went to go cover CES one year, and I was like, on a whim, I was like, yeah, I'll send my credentials over to the AEE, and they were like, yeah, no problem, come on over. I was like,
Filthy.
okay.
Why does that surprise you?
It was.
Like their vetting process wasn't up to snuff?
But I went over there and I walked the floor one time. I never saw more guys in football jerseys in one spot than anywhere else on the planet. It was like the weirdest thing. It was mainly just lines of people lined up to get a photo and an autograph of a porn star, and that was it.
But are you then? You're one of those dudes.
I wasn't in line. I was walking
He
around.
wasn't
I was
wearing a
covering
football
it.
jersey.
I was covering it. I wrote an article about it.
See, this is a discussion we had the other day. So I forget, like what was it, 30 podcasts ago? We were talking about foods that don't spoil. And we said, and people.
Oh, yeah.
Then people told me honey doesn't spoil, and then on a later podcast.
Well, they told you at the moment because that was the live one, wasn't it?
Because it was a live one, but then they kept telling me as they listened to the podcast for like 4 weeks that honey doesn't spoil.
Oh, yeah.
And then I said, hey, fuckers on Twitter, stop telling me that honey doesn't spoil. Well, now people just send me honey doesn't expire, honey doesn't spoil all the time. I get it like once or twice, at least a day, maybe 4 or 5 times a day.
Oh, trust me, I know all about saying things on the podcast and them never going away.
Yeah.
Believe me.
But here's the thing: is like all the people who send me the hey, Burnie, guess what? Honey doesn't expire. They all think they're doing it ironically,
Yeah.
like that they're like, oh, I'm in on the joke. There's no joke. It's like there really isn't a joke. It's like once you do that, once you act like the internet idiot,
Yeah.
you are that person.
Yeah.
You really are that person. You're not.
You're not being ironic.
Yeah,
you're just being
you're
an
not
ass.
part of the joke.
Yeah.
You are the joke.
Yeah.
You
But-
become the punchline.
But this isn't going to help at all, anyway.
No, I know, but I don't care.
It's like
Yeah.
got to that level now. It's just like
Yeah.
I
whatever.
mean,
Yeah.
at this point.
Because I went to dinner with you yesterday. You showed me 3 from like that meal
in that hour,
Yeah.
yeah. That people were saying, it was like, it's just unbelievable. People keep up with that joke.
Yeah.
Of course, I mentioned on the podcast.
that joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like if like you contribute on something like that, like Ray had a great point. Ray said he started saying YOLO to make fun of YOLO, but now he can't stop saying YOLO.
No, he says it. He actually
Yeah.
does, yeah.
And now he's one of those people that
He's
says
lived
YOLO.
long enough to
Yeah.
become everything he hates.
Pretty much, yeah. It's not like, I mean, you gotta think about the people who actually say YOLO. They're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do whatever I want, YOLO.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
They weren't like sitting around philosophically buying into, wow, my existence is a singular existence and I have to live to the highest level possible. No, they're just idiots like Ray going, YOLO, that's it. That's all it is, he is the guy.
Yeah.
That's what happens
Well-
every time you try and make fun of something, though. It ends up becoming a thing
Yeah.
that you do genuinely.
You
like
either, either die the hero,
Yeah,
or
like-
you live long enough to see yourself become the
like
villain.
how Dan and I call each other B and stuff like that, and that's just really irritating. My dad did this thing where he would make fun of this woman who, whenever she would hang up the phone, she would go, all right, bye, 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 and like say bye all the way down to the phone, and then he started doing that. He's been doing that for about 20 years. he says bye, 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 bye.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you guys did not go to the Adult Entertainment Expo while you were at CES.
You clarified. The question I was going to ask is you clarified in your explanation, which
Okay.
is people kept saying a different name than AVN, and I
Okay.
said, did they change? Like the WWF changed
Oh, I
to
don't know.
WWE, now it's AVN something else.
No, I mean, when I went to it, it was AEE, and I don't know how long it was before that, but it's funny. Like one of the funniest things I saw at CES that year was there was literally one hall that was like the whole adult like expo was in one room, and then like next to it was another part of CES. CES is enormous if you've never been to it, but it was literally like 50 feet. It was one door was the porn area, and the other door was the electronics area, and that's sort of like that foyer area, right there.
The what area?
The foyer.
Foyer. Wow, that's connect pronunciation. Yeah, they actually
But-
He's wearing a bow tie.
But that area there was like it was nothing but nerds and like porn stars. It was like the weirdest, most awkward thing ever. And then you had people from strip clubs trying to convince the nerds to go to the strip clubs later that night. So you used to get the hot girls with like the cards and stuff.
So is there anything actually adult at those things, or is it just you meet the porn stars? There's not like live sex shows or anything.
No,
like
nothing like that. I
What are
mean,
you talking about? You
sex
said
shows.
that was the
A live sex
place
cast.
where I saw the largest print of a vagina that I've ever seen in my
oh
life.
yeah, well yeah. I guess there's photos of things, but there's nothing like live there on like nothing actually happening.
Live,
There's not people
live
banging in
picture of
the-
the
Yeah,
vagina.
yeah, nothing like that. So.
No, but a lot
Yeah,
of times the women are nude in the booth sometimes. right?
Not typically actually. Or at least when I went, there weren't. So
Yeah, okay.
I've
But-
seen plenty of posts on Reddit.
yeah,
They sometimes wear like the stickers,
the pasties.
just strategically placed.
So anyway, it's definitely an experience. It was like, wow, this is really weird, and it's like,
Did you
Okay.
spend any time at CES?
No, I just went in for the podcast awards and came back.
Did you see the thing that like Microsoft debuted, which apparently stole the show?
No.
what's up?
So it's some kind of thing that takes some kind of technology, and I'm gonna look it up because all I did was like see some cursory stuff because I was there, but I was like around the event the entire time and not actually part of it. But apparently it's like a big thing they did that the purpose of it was to take your experience beyond the surface. And an example that I kept seeing is like a room where all the devices in it are Microsoft devices, or devices that attach to this thing or sync with it. And imagine if, like, there's your TV and you're playing Call of Duty, and the entire wall is Call of Duty.
Oh, it like scans
yeah.
the room.
Yeah.
And then projects it.
It projects it all over the entire wall, and that your TV is like just a sharper focus of where you're looking. But like all around you are all the buildings
it's like your
that you're running through.
Oh, so like it projects peripheral around the TV.
Yeah, outside the TV.
Yeah.
It's like holodeck version like 0.01.
Yeah, but you're only focused on the TV, so that
So it's
illusion
the same
of
resolution in the TV. So what's the resolution of the entire thing then?
I don't know, but it's like
5K
it
or
looks
something.
projected. It's like it looks like stuff just projected on a normal wall, but it's the buildings that like you're running by as you're
badass,
running
yeah.
forward.
It was sounding lame up to when I understood it, and that sounds really
Yeah.
cool.
Let me show you an image of it, and we'll put this in the link up.
Then my brain started
It
working.
sounded dumb until I figured it out. Then it sounded cool.
It sounded dumb until it made sense.
Yeah.
Like all great things. Beer, that's stupid. Oh, wait,
Hey,
Whoa.
what are you talking?
I don't even know how to search for this. I'm
So-
gonna, like,
Makes
see
sense.
it.
I'm glad that
Hollow room.
when the power went out, we were frantically bringing over equipment. I'm glad that someone thought to bring the beer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
we-
went,
yeah,
I
we
went
got-
straight for the fridge. I was confused when I opened the fridge and the light didn't turn on. I'm just gonna feel like it.
He really did stop dead. He's sitting in a dark warehouse. He opens the fridge and goes, "What's wrong with the fridge?" What's going on here?
For some reason, you always expect a light in a fridge, even when the power's off.
Like, we had lost power in the building earlier today, but then it came back on, and we're like, oh, that's weird. No, oh, well, I'm sure everything's fine.
So
That's not
did
foreboding
he say
at
it was
all.
the power coming from the street, like coming from the city?
Yeah.
Like, so it wasn't just our building. It was like the whole lot.
No,
over
it's
there.
just that building.
Oh, just
So it's
our
not-
section.
Yeah, just that part.
That sucks.
Not-
It's called Illuma Room.
That's a terrible
That
thing.
sounds
It is
horrible.
terrible.
See, that's why I
That
was
sounds like you find
initially.
like in the back of
That
Boy's
sound-
Life or something like the X-ray glasses.
That's
guy.
why
Yeah,
I
right.
think of stuff being lame up until I understand it. I saw a thing of
It's like something
that's
Billy
cool.
Mays would advertise
I saw a thing of a tablet.
Billy
that,
Mays here.
for a
That's pretty cool.
Room.
I saw a video of a tablet that like it squirts liquid under the screen and like makes little bobbly buttons come up whenever you get the keyboard on.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
People
It
are
changes
just
the shape of the glass.
people are just
you have
making
keys.
stuff for the sake of it now. We have everything we need. Nobody needs to come up with anything else.
I agree with you.
That is dumb. I don't want to squelch on a screen. Typing on a touchscreen is fine at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, and also, although I have used some kiosks. I used a Southwest kiosk to go out to Vegas because, once again, in Austin, when we fly, you have to like choose whatever carrier just goes direct to the city that you're going to.
Only Southwest.
And for Vegas, it's Southwest. And
That's a
I-
nice,
otherwise,
nice flight.
I fucking hate Southwest.
Yeah.
I think U.S.
Yeah.
Airways has a flight to Vegas as well.
Really?
I think you
Oh,
are
wow.
correct. But their kiosk had like a tactile feedback on them when I was using it, when I was typing in, and it's like it gave me like a vibration and
Oh,
like a
I like
punch
those.
back, like I could
Okay.
feel the keys. But it was just glass.
Did it project around?
No, it didn't do that. Like I wasn't on some letters, and I
All
had
the-
like
all
the
the
Russian
symbols were
alphabet.
around you?
Yeah, I had previous versions of the alphabet all around me.
I hate "Are you sure" messages though. I went to an ATM.
Oh,
This
yeah.
was I think it was in Vegas, and I pressed English to you select your language first. It said, "Are you sure you want to choose English?" I mean, I've only pressed one button. It's not like I can't go back. It's the dumbest confirmation message ever.
And if you can't read English, it's like,
Yeah.
which one do I do? And then you hit yes and everything's still in English.
You've made a terrible mistake.
Well, the thing that I'm always dealing with now too, whenever when I call in places, I have just determined that Siri and voice activated things don't understand my voice. They just can't. I can get 2 words out, and then that's it. It either cuts me off and goes, "I don't know what the fuck you doing." I have no clue.
Can you shut your dog up, please?
Can I talk to your owner?
What's that? Jimmy's in a well?
No, I use the voice recognition stuff for like texting. So like if you hit the little microphone button, you can talk and it'll write it out for you. And that stuff seems to work for me.
Yeah. That's
So-
I'm really worried
I
every
like
time
it.
you show me a picture.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you've now
this is
broken
just
Gavin.
because-
Is that a
projected
Luma
all
room?
around
So
the
that's like a
room.
snow level that
Oh,
you're
cool.
playing on, and it makes it snow inside your room. It's
So like it appears like snowflakes appear on the TV.
I think it's like an
and stuff.
ambiance thing, but also it's like it can also extend for where your vision isn't focused.
What would be good is if it just, for every kill you got, it just stacked a corpse in the corner of the room until it's just a pile of dead
There's
bodies.
dead
You'd be like,
bodies all around.
"Maybe
So
I
you
shouldn't
thought
kill
we-
any more people?
You thought we had everything, but we don't.
Yeah, clearly.
Kill count.
Hey, did I hear a rumor correct that Congress is considering a bill that penalizes video game companies for shootings or something like that?
God,
Joel,
that's
so
I did hear it from Joel.
yeah. And Alex Jones was screaming it at the time. No, so Biden has been talking to a bunch of people about like they've been bringing in different groups that kind of talk about gun violence in America and stuff. And he talked to the NRA, he's talked to like some mental health people, and they brought in the video game industry. And so like I want to say the president of the ESA came in, the Electronic Software Association. And they were just kind of like talking about video games, sort of their impact on youth and stuff. And to me, it's just like, even showing up to that is admitting too much, or is like saying too much. Like it's such a dumb connection to make.
You got to show up.
But they didn't bring in the movie. They didn't bring in the movie industry. Yeah. I mean, I would say the movies are just as responsible for violent images for children as video games are.
No, I agree. We're on the same fight. We're on the
Okay,
same page.
okay.
I'm saying as a responsible industry, they should show up and defend themselves.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. But pulling them in makes it seem like there's guilt on that organization. Like,
But the video game industry can't control whether or not Congress summons them to testify.
No. Yeah, but it just irks me.
They have to show up.
No, it just irks me the fact that we're like the video game industry is even being pulled into this conversation, and it's just like, and now they're actually having to make this debate that should have been dead forever ago.
Well, it was dead. The Supreme Court had that ruling about the California law where they
the Yee law or whatever that was.
Right, where they penalized game stores, or they didn't allow game stores to sell games that were rated M. Was that
Yeah,
it?
it was something like that, and it was it's
Well, we got into this discussion at my house because we're playing Lego Lord of the Rings, and we're like 100 billion hours into that fucking game to finish it. But we got into a discussion about that, about how much would you like to play a Lego Halo game? That'd be a lot of fun, right? Because you could switch to Cortana and switch those characters and everything, and switch the Arbiter. But it's like, then Halo is associated with Mega Bloks, not with Lego. That's right, because Lego has that rule where I've always heard that they won't be associated with R-rated or mature content, mature for video games. And then it thought, it's weird that R is the equivalent of mature.
Yeah.
But even weirder, I was playing Lord of the Rings. And you're going to tell me that Lord of the Rings is less adult than Halo? I mean, what goes on in Halo that's worse than what happens in Lord of the Rings? I mean, there's
you get giant elites sticking swords through Marines and stuff like that.
dude,
Yeah, but got like in Lord of the Rings, you got like
Boromir's getting arrows
Yeah.
through him.
yeah.
you got like orcs running swords and
Yeah.
lances
You have
through
undead, you have
do you?
ghosts.
I gotta watch Lord of the Rings again. I remember.
Yeah. Man,
I thought it was just a bunch of midgets running through the woods.
You know what you should do? Did you?
I'd love to hear
Scene
your
in the Hobbit where
summary.
somebody gets cut
Lord of the
open.
Rings.
That's the best one sentence description of Lord of the Rings ever. A bunch of midgets running through the
And
woods.
some of the woods can move and talk and all that.
Come on, midgets walking through the woods. No, that's simple walk through Mordor.
Oh,
The
Fine Rooster Teeth production.
Hi guys, how you doing? You know what you should do? Did you see The Hobbit? Everybody see The Hobbit?
Yeah.
Go back immediately and watch Fellowship.
yeah.
I did.
Because it's crazy the amount of stuff that ties in, that they tied in from Hobbit to
I
Fellowship.
noticed a lot.
I gotta
Yeah.
go see Hobbit again, like in normal,
I'll do it.
not 48 frame.
I'll go with you.
bullshit.
So
Yeah.
you saw it 48 frames.
I saw it in 48 frames 3D, and I didn't like it.
That's how I would want to see it. I wanna
Yeah,
see
I
it.
want to see it.
I want to
No.
see it how the director sees
Absolutely.
it.
The
agree.
technical side of it was so distracting to me, it ruined the movie. Like I was more like watching the guys move around so crisp and clean. It was just like it was too much. It doesn't.
Do you think
Get
you
it
have
good.
bias going into it and you let yourself be affected
No,
by
no.
the negative
I mean,
vibe?
honestly, like I picked up on it immediately. Like when Bilbo is running or moving through his house, it's just so crisp and so sharp. It's just like it was off-putting to me. I mean, it was like, and that's the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Here's what happened to me, Gus, is that it killed my ability to suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
I never could, during the 48 frames presentation, I could never say to myself, I'm not watching a movie. I'm just like, I'm in the story and all that stuff. I was like, I'm sitting there going, I'm watching a movie, I'm watching a movie, I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
You know, and I can tell you, I have a bias against 3D, and it's gone after like 2 minutes, like in any movie that I go see.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go see it? We should go see it at the IMAX, because I want to see it in the IMAX, and the IMAX
I'll go. I haven't seen it
projectors
yet.
are not
I'm in.
48 frames.
I'm in. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Do
You haven't seen The Hobbit at all?
No.
Oh, really? Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, like in the Fellowship,
It's
they
just
come
a bunch
across
of
the
midgets
trolls.
running through the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they do
Yeah,
come across
and
the
they're the
trolls.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when they're walking toward. Yeah.
Yeah, when the
When
midgets
they're
are
walking in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Right.
Sam even points out, it's like, it's Bilbo's trolls.
Right. And it's such a throwaway moment, but then
Yeah.
like after you see The Hobbit,
Yeah.
they come back. And that was one of the weird things they changed in The Hobbit. That's completely different resolution. Not completely, but the source of the resolution with the trolls is different than it is in the book, and I don't know why they did that.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought
It was Gandalf
Was it
talking from the edges of the clearing in the book.
distracting them?
Yeah, and distracting them
Huh.
over time. Like Gandalf's a big hero in the Hobbit.
Sir
Yeah.
Ian.
Wizard.
Let me. I'm going to take a second to read this. I want to remind everyone that this episode of the podcast is brought to you by.
It's good too for the games we talk about on the podcast too, because we always tend to be a little bit behind. On what we talk about.
Well, I mean, there's so many damn games, and actually, this year more than most years is going to be a really, really not painful year, but it's going to be a very packed year for video games because a lot of games that were supposed to come out in the fall got actually pushed to the spring.
Well, it happens all the time, though.
But more so this year. I mean, like a lot. Okay, so
The only big one I can think of is BioShock Infinite.
BioShock Infinite. You've got Dead Space 3, and you've
Was that initially a fall release?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out like October or November or something. And then there was another one. I want to say Last of Us or something. Maybe, I forget what it was. There was another.
Last of
major.
Us never had a release date. The first release date they announced was the current one.
Maybe it was God of War. I thought there was some PS3 title that got pushed, but anyway.
Could it be the Gears of War prequel that's coming out?
They had Gears of War Judgment. Or Revelation.
Judgment.
Judgment is yeah. But anyway, but like this year, it's like there are so many games coming out in February and March that is just like usually this is our slow time, and it's like well, we're right back into it. You know, we had January, we had a few weeks in January to kind of like breathe, and now it's like all right, good luck. But like even like 2011, we had one day where we had 5 AAA titles hit in one day. And, you know, this year, like in 2012 was nice because at least, you know, it was one a week. But now it's like, all right, now it's just got spaced out.
I'm looking
again.
here at the games
Like-
I'm looking forward to. So we got BioShock Infinite, February 26th, Gears of War, March 19th.
BioShock got pushed.
Last of Us, May 7th.
That's May.
Then everything else I'm looking at has no firm date.
The new demo for Dead Space 3 came out today.
Oh, that's right, Dead Space 3.
When's
That's
GTA
very,
5?
very awesome.
TBA still. TBA 2013.
Soon.
It'll be early, but it'll be before summer probably.
Have you guys played all the Gears of War?
Yes.
Yes.
I stopped after 1, and I don't know why. It's just a
That's
franchise
ridiculous.
I lost track of.
It's kind of it's like a Michael Bay franchise of video games. I would say it's kind of over the top, you know, kind of dumb plot, but a lot of fun.
One thing I like about Gears of War, which no other game seems to ever follow, is that you could show me footage of Gears of War, and I would not be able to tell you which game it was from. Like, because each game looks the same. There's just different, like
They
different
don't change,
weapons,
like,
different
the
enemies,
aesthetic.
and some of them. But visually, it's the same, and I love that. It feels like you're just moving on through the story without any distraction at all.
It was way ahead of its time, I thought, when the first one came out. Like, it looked so good.
Yeah, and the whole reloading thing was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, I still love that mechanic. Except after you've been drinking, it's so hard to do. I get so fucking angry because over time, like I can see myself getting worse and worse. Where I'm like, not even like I'm getting penalized because I'm hitting it at the wrong time. But then I'm stubborn and I don't want to stop trying to do the bonus.
And it's one of those things where the first time you play it, you're kind of overwhelmed anyway by the game, and then you realize there's a reload mechanism. It's like oh, screw this. But as soon as you get good, which is immediately, you feel really good about it. You're like, oh, that reload as well. Oh, and again, it's like you get really
Especially
excited.
multiplayer, like it can be really tense.
Yeah, it really helps you out as well with the bonus damage.
I also have to say, I like a game where the default weapon is my favorite.
Yeah.
And
The
the
Lancer.
Lancer is, to me, the best weapon in that game.
Something so rewarding about that chainsaw where you just
I like
slice into somebody.
I like the
It's great.
torque bow personally.
No, the
that's-
torque bow is,
badass.
yeah, that's got a great mechanic for the actual aiming of it, where it's got that, like, arc and then kink. Yeah, I really like that
Probably
a lot.
one of the meatiest sniper rifles in any video game as well. It's just like on a head. It's
Yeah. So something about it's weird. For some reason, I'm better at third-person shooters than I am at first-person shooters.
well, you're horrible at first.
I'm terrible at first-person
Third-person
shooters.
shooters aren't as Twitch-oriented as first-person.
I guess so,
are.
yeah. But yeah, but I've always been better about that. Like Godfather 2 had a multiplayer mode, and I was really good at that. But
I really liked Godfather 2. That was kind of a panned game.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the shit out of that game.
I like the first Godfather.
yeah.
Have you ever played a game and thought it was really good and then later realized that everyone hated it?
Oh, yeah.
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 I had that with Driver 3. I love that game. And then I realized that it was like a huge flop and nobody liked it. But that was the first game to have a real decent theater mode. Like you could keyframe.
I think they call it like stuntman mode or.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was and you could keyframe camera moves, which you haven't been able to do in any game since, I don't think.
Oh, well, Skate does that.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
You
Skate
just
has
like
some really
at this
camera
point I want it
controls.
here, and then when it lands here, I want the camera here. And it's
Man, I'm trying to think. I remember there's like games that other people got involved with, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like you used to play that Rockstar table tennis all the time.
Oh, man.
I was like, I just
never
don't.
got into that.
I don't get it. I never got it.
Jeff and I had a huge rivalry over it. He was the only one I played it with.
You guys would talk about it constantly.
Yeah.
That was
That was
Dan
very-
for some reason. Jeff.
Yeah, it was Jeff. It was at the old Buta office. We would do that all the time.
Yeah.
I love
Been working
Rockstar.
on my
Though.
backhand.
Yeah.
I love Rockstar though because they made that game basically just to test facial animation and character animation and stuff. Like then it was like that was kind of like a whim. They were
Well, like
"All
a
right."
tech demo that evolves into an actual retailer.
Basically, yeah.
So
I
they
mean,
just make money off of it.
yeah, I mean, like all that stuff went into like like Grand Theft Auto 4 and Red Dead. I mean, it's like I love to see that stuff happen.
I probably played more table tennis than I did GTA 4.
You are scum.
Is it true?
Yeah.
You missed out on a great game.
I only
GTA 4's great.
I only
GTA
played
4.
like 6 hours of GTA 4.
Wow.
Man, I gotta say,
He doesn't like the sandbox.
Yeah, I really don't like sandbox
GTA has the
games.
most natural transition between animated dudes and then ragdoll. Like they kind of just,
Yeah.
it's so.
I love when you're
there's no-
drunk and
No,
then you're like,
I actually
Yeah, it's like stumbling. Like, doing
I was writing for Ain't It Cool, and they sent me to New York City to go check out Grand Theft Auto 4 before it came out. And the thing that blew my mind was at one point the guy who was controlling the game was walking around, and a taxi hit him in the leg, and he put his hand down on the hood of the taxi to
Yeah.
like right himself. And I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my god!
And that's
I mean,
not
like,
an animation.
so,
That's
yeah,
just a natural thing.
yeah.
of
That was
the
like so
character.
simple, but it was like that is incredible.
I mean,
And
a
it was
lot of games, as soon as the game wants you to be in ragdoll, they're just like
yeah.
just flubbed out. But
flop you all over the
there's
place.
still like rigidness to a character
Yeah,
in
yeah.
ragdoll, which is.
But-
they had that in Red Dead as well. It's really good.
yeah, but it's one of those things where it really begs for a theater mode too, or just I want to
Yeah,
play
well,
the
the
last.
PC version
the
does. have
PC
that.
version has a theater mode.
I actually
Is
bought
that
it.
an add-on or?
I think it's part of the game.
Yes, part of
Oh,
the
is
game.
it?
I bought the PC version, even though I had the Xbox version, just to mess around in the
Really?
in the like camming it again.
Yeah, when I would get like just pegged and it goes black and white, you know, by a cop car, it just throws me off a bridge. I'm like, I want to see that again. Oh,
Well, I
I
mean,
can't.
but they put it in slow motion. You can't move the camera around and like
Yeah.
zoom in.
But like the rumor is the next Xbox is going to have like a DVR functionality.
I've
so-
heard that. I don't know, man.
No, you
I
don't think it's
know.
true?
I think maybe something like that would have been said at CES, like they did. Maybe I'm hoping it has this aluminum
CES
thing.
isn't a big like video game announcement. Like like that's too big of an announcement. I feel like for CES. CES
Yeah.
they may announce.
Yeah.
CES
like,
is not worthy.
They may
of such a
announce
thing.
like set-top box functionality, but like core console functionality they're going to save for E3.
So okay, Gus, we've talked about this before. Do you think a console is coming out this year, like a new Xbox or PS3 or PS4?
I have
guess,
no
console?
inside knowledge.
No, yeah, sorry.
No one has told me anything.
we literally have no actual knowledge of this stuff. I mean,
Yes,
this is-
I think there will be. A
You
I
think
do
there will
too.
be?
I absolutely do. Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I'm gonna vote no.
Yeah,
I think the
because I mean,
announcement will be in November and it'll come out next year.
do you think they would launch it? Because if they theoretically, if they were going to announce a console that's coming out this year, they would announce it probably at E3, right?
What did they do with the Wii U?
Wii U was a year and a half. They announced it at the E3 before the next. It was like they announced it in 2011, and then it came out fall of 2012. So that's a year and a half lead up time.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things you've got to establish, sort of, teach your audience. You got to let them know that this is coming. And
You know what I
Yeah.
think the best indication is?
what's that?
Is start looking at major titles and start seeing like when they're announced.
The big
Yeah.
rumor was that the Watch Dogs demo from last E3 was running on new hardware.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Ubisoft title.
There was another one that they made that claim about.
I thought maybe it was Last of Us or something too.
No,
Or-
it was
or-
Watch Dogs, and there was one other one that people were saying was probably running
Yeah.
on next generation.
That
hardware.
Watch Dogs demo was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That caught a lot. I was there in the audience when they announced it. And it was just like it caught everyone off guard. It was like, what the hell is this thing? And it's kind of surprising at E3 now to actually see something brand new and playable.
yeah, something you never heard of.
Yeah,
before.
yeah. I mean, that was the thing about E3. They'd always announce all these new games. Now everything's expected. It's like, all right, we've got a sequel to every game that's been coming out, and to see something fresh and original is just,
We never
great.
talked about at the VGAs. They had that weird trailer for that game. People think it's the next Metal Gear game.
Oh, the whale, Moby or White Whale? Is that what it's
yeah,
called?
that was the name of the studio.
That's right. Yeah, I forget the basically people think is going to be the next Metal Gear game. Right?
Yeah.
So like the people are like, there's images where it's like alluding to what Old Boss and all the different characters from the game kind of popping back up again. It looked great, but
It was really, really.
so.
It was really bizarre. It's like out of nowhere. It's like one of those things that's like
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Well,
and
didn't-
there's no context for it.
Well, wasn't like the CEO of this White Whale company, like his name was an anagram for Kojima or something like
Was
that?
it?
Yeah, it was something like very
Conspiracy
obvious.
theories.
And then he even tweeted, like, that guy, this fake guy tweeted at Mega 64 that he likes their stuff or something. And I know the Mega 64 guys and
They work
Konami
with-
and Kojima are very friendly, so who knows? Get Rocco on the phone.
I
see
got
if we can
White
figure this
Whale
out.
Games up here, but I don't see.
I forget what it was called though. But
Yeah.
It was something weird.
Moby Dick Studios.
That might have been.
That's
it.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'll look it up here.
Much
And
better.
yeah.
Listen to us talking about games on this comedy podcast.
When we went to PAX this past year, we went to a Konami party, and Mega 64 was there. We went and we ran into them. And while we were standing there, I was ordering a drink, and I saw Hideo Kojima like walk in and
Yeah.
immediately go to like the VIP area and everything. And I had like a couple drinks, and I took off. And then like later that night, I'm checking Twitter, and there's like pictures of Kojima and like Rocco standing behind him. Like you're like not intentionally photobombing, but like
Yeah.
talking to someone, and he's like always there. Like those guys are always.
It's kind of funny seeing stuff like that. Like I was just there. Like, did you see the video that came out? I think yesterday or today of the guy watching the chase in Los Angeles. There's like a police chase. The guy's
Oh,
there's like all these
yeah.
cop cars following this guy,
And it
and he's
turns.
like he's filming the TV, and all of a sudden like it turns up a street, and then you can hear cop cars coming, and that chase like goes right behind the guy's like windows, like right
Yeah.
behind the TV. It's like he's like oh shit, oh look at that, and then cuts back. It's pretty funny. to
There
see
was
that
a-
happen.
The
An
Phantom
instance-
Pain is the name of the game.
Phantom.
That was
Pain.
it.
Yeah.
There was an instance where a guy was watching a high-speed chase, and he had to go out, so he taped it, and then he ended up having the guy in the chase pull up alongside him, crash, get him out of his car, and then drive off. So he has a tape of himself being pulled out onto the road, and then his car bombs away.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I'm sure he feels great
It's
about
awesome
that.
that it didn't happen to me. You know.
He
so.
got thrown down and looked up and waved.
What games are you looking forward to this year, Gus?
Just that list that I just read.
Are you looking
So, like,
forward
I'm
to
looking-
GTA
I'm-
5? Or I mean, it sounded like you didn't even play 4.
I'm not.
So.
I mean, I played a ton of GTA 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
I played a ton of Vice City, but I never made the leap beyond that.
Really?
San Andreas is where I kind of got lost. I played a lot of San Andreas, but I never finished it. And
Did you play Red Dead?
Yeah, I didn't care for it.
Really?
Boring.
I'm starting to have problems with open world games. Like, if I'm not told immediately this is what you need to do, and I'm not pushed along that story, I end up getting lost. Like, I'll get too distracted,
I think
and
it's all
I
coming
gotta
back
be
in. Like,
focused.
originally there wasn't enough freedom in games, and then they give you freedom, and then there's too much freedom, and now I want to be pushed down a path again. I don't
Yeah.
want the freedom anymore.
But I think Rockstar handles that better than anybody else. Like, the stories in Rockstar games are so damn good.
Well, I liked all the episode stuff in GTA. Like, you
Yeah.
come back around
Yeah.
and touch on your original characters.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, that
I remember
was
doing
awesome.
that when I was
Yeah.
Nico.
Yeah.
I remember killing that guy.
Like, I actually,
That guy knew that guy?
I want to go back and play GTA 4 just because the DLC looks so good.
Ballad of Gay Tony is
Yeah.
better than the original game.
So Ballad of
I
Gay
agree,
Tony
yeah.
specifically is why I want to go back and play GTA
really
4
fun.
and
Definitely.
play that.
Well, apparently in GTA 5 there are 3 main protagonists, and you jump kind of back and forth between the 3 of them. So
I'm actually excited for that game.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that might be the swan song of this generation of consoles.
Yeah.
So
You guys ever? Did you play the original Grand Theft Auto, the one that was top down?
Yep. The first 2 were like that.
Yeah. Do you know there's one out, a game
circumcised.
out now called Hotline Miami?
Yeah.
It's kind of in that style. Have you played it?
No, I haven't
there's,
played it. I've
there's
heard of
Retro
it.
City Rampage, which is like that.
Isn't that a side scroller?
No, it's top down. Just-
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very very old school looking. It looks like GTA 1.
Well, Hotline Miami is a game I've been hearing a lot about. It's one of those things like you hear about it enough on the fringes, and you're like, I'm gonna get this tried out. So I downloaded it off Steam, but I've been busy lately.
Yeah.
I got a big couple weeks here. just got a new house.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's got an house.
I'm very excited.
Congratulations on
Literally
that.
today I got that. So thank you.
Do you have the key? Do you actually have a key? You
I
can-
do have a key.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, he's turning 40.
You can.
What's that?
You're
What?
turning 40 on Friday.
I am.
Way to bring
you
that
can,
up.
You can save Joe the cat from freezing to death tonight
Oh, that's true.
in
There's
the,
a heater over there.
in the unpowered studio.
It's not freezing that. It's 55 degrees over there. So.
Yeah, but now
he's also a cat.
the heater is no longer working.
Yeah, I guess it'll drop. It's been kind of crazy cold in Austin. I mean, if it gets down to freezing in Austin, that's weird.
Yeah,
If
well,
a cat can sleep under a car and be warm, it can be.
I found him the other day. Lindsay was concerned that he was dead because she came in the morning and he didn't come out to greet her. She's like, "Can you help me look for Joe?" She's like, "I don't want to find a dead cat." I was like, okay. So I helped her look around, and eventually, I looked up on the ceiling of the studio, it has that drop ceiling, and he was up there, and there's a tube of insulation, for duct work, and he was just sitting in it, looking out, and I was like, "Come on, Joe, come on!" He was not moving.
So how does that work? Does a cat just go and look at places that look warm, or can it see that? Does it have heat vision to see that's a warm place? How does it sense that is warmer?
Did you just ask if a cat has heat vision?
I don't know. Can it?
Yeah, how did he find
Can it
the
feel like thermal?
warmest place?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, this cat is Predator. Basically.
Well, he's done this thing lately where he curls in the tightest ball possible.
That looks really comfortable to me.
It does. Well, the problem is he's jamming his face as close to his crotch as possible. And if you're going to your crotch for warmth, that's the last stage of just
Crotch
panic.
is warm though, right?
I guess so.
What's the warmest?
I
It's the
think
warmest part of you, I think.
in Antarctica, during winter, the scientists have to sleep foot and crotch, to keep their extremities warm.
Really?
Yeah,
So
I
they-
think they lie opposite, and then
Look, I'm all for science, but I mean,
Wait,
that's
they're
not
like
worth it.
this or like this?
I'm not sure. I think like that.
Scissoring? Going
don't
nuts to nuts.
Well, wait a minute.
It's not
It seems
scientific.
like
Putting all that
okay,
marbles
it's
in
for science.
It's for science.
it seems like you run on a scientist's crotch, though, if you do that.
Yeah,
Because you
he's
have
the one
2
on the
feet
end.
per scientist.
But then you get another one in here going out this way.
No,
Yeah,
maybe
but
you
then
do it in
the
a loop.
scientists
I feel like there's a
always-
mathematical equation.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
like
you
a
can apply.
reef.
We need
Like,
to
Or maybe they go in a ring. Yeah,
They go in a circle.
they make a Mobius strip, so it never ends. Infinite cross.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
I don't know, man. Those people who do that stuff. I read an article recently about
that I don't know who's doing this, but a private company is looking for people who want to go to Mars
I heard
and
about
not come back.
I would do it.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
Like
You
they
would
say,
not.
With or without your
You
wife.
say stuff like this all the time. My retirement plan's a shotgun. You would never shoot yourself with a shotgun. You will never go to Mars and not come back.
I would do it.
Bull. I call bull.
I will
bet
do it
you-
just to spite you. I will go to Mars out of spite, motherfucker. I will leave the planet, and the whole time I'll just be like,
Gavin's back on Earth like, oh, I can't believe you went.
Oh, he got me.
Just before your phone leaves the service area of Earth, there's just a picture of you at Earth like this. You just see the planet. It's like,
it's like my last tweet.
By the time you land, we'll have telescopes. We'll develop telescopes powerful enough. We'll see you. We're just on Mars like this.
Earth.
Would you go?
I'd
Would
like
you go?
to, yeah.
It's like Barbara leaving Canada.
you'd be alone.
I said I'd like to.
You'd be alone.
I assume they'd send a group of people.
Well, who cares? You're not gonna die together.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Would that help you? You want to go with a group
No,
of
but
people?
I need to keep my routine as close to the way it is now. I gotta ignore people. I gotta like find reasons to
You
hide.
need people to go with you so you can ignore them.
Gus would be the dude.
There's no one to ignore otherwise.
There's no people here for me.
It's like there are 10 people on this planet. I just have to avoid 9 people every day. There's just 9 people I have to stay away from.
God. I can imagine him in the spacecraft, like making tape lines down the middle of the room. It's like, nope, this is mine. This is mine.
Who ate my sandwich?
Labeling the space refrigerator.
This is my space pizza.
So would you go if there was no internet?
I mean, I assume there's going to be no internet. It might
you
be
go if there's
slow
no
as
pizza?
shit.
So
if
they
there
flew
was.
you all the way
They
to
only
Mars
have
and they
Time
didn't
Warner
install
cable on
internet. No.
Yeah, they don't have a cable long enough. They're still working on it.
Why does internet have to come from Earth?
No, they.
What? Why does internet have to come from?
Why do they have Mars internet?
You get a Mars net, you can mail 9 people.
It's the same reason. There's no one there. Wikipedia sure is empty.
You can email 9 people and Gus will ignore you.
No, you'd have.
Man, Mars.wikipedia.org has 2 articles.
Gus is on misconnections on fucking Craigslist on Mars. Mars.craigslist.com.
You, John. I saw you. You didn't say hi.
Saw you watering space plants. Me, coffee.
You'd have the World Wide Web on Earth, and you'd have the Mars.
I'm sure. I assume there could be a
Wide net.
slow link to transfer data, but it would take a long time.
You get like 10 Instagram alerts all day long that were just red dirt. I know.
No, I put a sepia filter on this one. It's the fucking same. It still looks
Or
red.
just brown dirt.
It's like you go to like play a game and like you sort them by ping and they're all like 990. Like they're all like the terrible ping.
You would have to show one of the other astronauts going, stop taking photos of your freeze-dried ice cream. We all eat it every day, we know. Is that like, does every astronaut eat the Neapolitan freeze-dried ice cream?
Have
Is
you ever had that stuff?
Yeah.
It's good, right?
They sell it, there's a
I have some actually right now.
downtown, what do you save
On
it?
you?
No, I went to Alabama recently and I went to some space station there. Or like space.
The
not
Alabama
station.
Space Station.
Some space center. It was like a. There was
That's
a,
where they. That's where
It's
they
part of
the
Space camp.
Space camp. Yeah.
there was a giant rocket. I sat in one and then I took some ice cream.
Or like
You can,
sat
you can
on
buy
them.
you can buy that.
You took some ice cream or you paid for it?
I don't know. It was NASA ice cream. I don't know. It was,
It's all government funded.
I don't know what I did.
It's NASA flavored. There's a candy shop downtown, an old school candy shop, and they sell like lots of different stuff.
Big Top.
Big Top, yep. And they have like an old school soda jerk, which you should go to.
Soda
since you
what?
look-
Let's go.
Jordan always looks like a dude in a Western who's going into town for a dance. You know, he's always got like the way his hair is cut and all that. It's
Like Back to the Future Part 3 style.
you could like you're either like the villain in that, like he's the rich guy going to the hoedown.
We decided to have a bow tie podcast in his honor since he's always so dapper.
Yeah.
Which
you,
made the-
you jumped on the bow tie bandwagon after
Yeah, and then
after you
I
went to the child's play dinner.
screwed mine up.
It's
So-
just kind of. I thought bow ties are supposed to be like tight in the middle. Yours seems very fat. I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you tie your own?
Yeah.
I
He's
didn't
still
tie
learning.
mine.
I tied my
Burnie's-
own. I think mine looks pretty good.
Brandon's wearing
my
one, I tied
giant
his.
green bow tie.
Yeah, they're all mine. By the
We
way.
had the control room crew wear them all also, but
Kara's wearing one.
yeah,
Kara-
yeah,
Kara's
Dave
got
was
it.
wearing one too.
But
I was
Ju-
amazed that he could tie one from the front. Like if ever I tie a tie for someone else, I have to be behind them and do it over their
yeah?
shoulders.
it's just personal preference.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't
I
do it
like to look
backwards.
you in the eye when I.
Who the hell do you tie ties for?
I've tied some ties in my ears.
Yeah?
for whom?
I don't know actually.
Okay,
No idea.
great story.
Sorry, I
All right.
didn't tell that as a story.
Yes, you did.
Here's a story, and Gavin didn't understand why this was weird or rude or anything like that. He said that we were talking about weddings, and I think we were talking about Lindsay and Michael's wedding, and we were talking about the potential who the groom's party would be. And so he said, Gavin, you'll probably be in that. He goes, nah, I wouldn't do it. And I go, what do you mean you wouldn't do it? He goes, I just wouldn't do it. And I said, you wouldn't stand up at somebody's wedding? He goes, nah, I wouldn't, too much. And I said, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, like my friend, he goes, you want me to be the best man at his wedding? I was like, nah. I was like, somebody has to be their best man, and you just went, nah.
Jesus Christ, you asshole!
I don't want any responsibility at someone's wedding. I get nervous.
You know
There's
what
people
honor it
everywhere.
is to be someone's best man?
Have you ever heard, Jack, of someone saying no to that question?
You asshole!
My reasoning was that I wouldn't be in the country when the wedding happened.
Oh, no, is this the one you went back for? You
Yeah.
skipped RTX? So you were in the fucking country.
Yeah, I went in the end, yeah.
And he wasn't even like a groomsman or anything. He just
You
said
weren't
no
like
to
an
everyone
usher or
watching.
anything? Like you didn't. You weren't.
No,
you
I
just
just
went and
went-
sat down.
Will you be
yeah.
my best man? Nah.
Nah.
Fuck.
So I can't do it.
We gotta fill out a form.
I'll be there getting drunk. That's what I do at weddings. Anything else, just, you know a lot of people.
You guys might want to consider going on the spaceship together. Be okay.
It's all a load of guff anyway.
You're gonna need a village idiot on Mars. So
Can you imagine?
I
Can you
just don't like
imagine?
tradition, like a best man is. What is that?
Can you imagine if you and I were the only people on a planet? Like, it was just you and me, and there was like a fucking line down the middle of the
I think it'd be
planet.
fine.
Well-
it'd be fine. I'd be like, occasionally I'd be like, hey, you want to play Super Mario or something? And we'd be
You
like,
guys,
yeah.
listen. You guys would be 10 months into the mission, and you would say to Gavin, you'd meet him in the hallway and say, God, I'm so sick of these other fucking 8 people on the ship. And Gavin would go, what other 8 people? It would Gavin would go 8 months and not meet anybody on the ship. Somehow he would avoid everybody and not learn anybody's name.
I'm lucky in that I haven't been bored in about 10 years. I can't remember the last time I've just been sat on my own bored because I can just keep myself entertained. Even if I don't have anything, I can just
the problem is
think about stuff.
You
and,
keep yourself entertained at other people's expense.
Like what?
That's the problem. Like you think about yourself. Like even today, I was like, "Hey, Gavin, did you bring a tie?" And you're like, "No." And I was like,
Well, he
no.
emailed letting us know. He
Yeah,
actually took
I don't
the
have a bow
initiative.
tie.
Oh, wow, okay,
Jordan
that is
has
surprising.
7 or something. How many?
But he's like, oh, it'll sort itself out. It's like, no, because someone will do it for you because you don't think about anything else.
He emailed me when we started talking about the bow tie podcast. Like, I don't have one.
He did something very nice, though. We went out to Vegas for New Year's. Did you talk about this at all before?
No, we haven't had a
no.
podcast,
This
live
is the
podcast.
first live one.
All right, since New Year's, yeah. So we went out to Vegas for New Year's, and
What was that?
he was in London. I posted this on Twitter. He was in London, and I bought tickets to go see the show the day before. I said, "You're going to be in town?" He goes, "Yes, I'll be in town tomorrow night." But I said, "Okay, we're going to go see a show." He doesn't tell me he's getting into at 10 p.m. at night. So I had tickets for like 10:30.
I think I wasn't getting until.
Oh, you did. You did talk about this. I
it
think
was
somewhere.
8:30.
I've heard this.
Wait,
Story.
I put it on
I've
Twitter.
heard this.
I posted a video on Twitter about it. And
Yeah, I wasn't getting until 8, and it was at 8:30 that it started. I think
It was-
Or it was 9, and it was 9:30.
right. And so I bought like $180 for a ticket to Zakara, Cirque du Soleil show at Aria, which is one of the hotels in Vegas. And so Gavin is coming from London to Las Vegas.
I didn't realize how far west Vegas was.
Yep.
Because
Well, that's like
I
California.
took an 8-hour flight to Philadelphia from London, and usually I fly to Chicago or Dallas and then go to Austin, which is either like a couple of hours or like
It's pretty fast.
40 minutes if you're in Dallas or something like that. And then I looked at the thing; it was like 5.5 hours from Philadelphia to Vegas. I was like, what? So yeah, it was really like 2 long flights back to
So
back.
did he make it?
I get a 5-minute window in Philadelphia when I said, "Hey, I got all of our stuff for tonight." I said, "Just tell me what time you're getting in." And he goes, "I'm getting at 8:30." I'm like, "Well, the show's at fucking 8:30." I'm like, "What are you doing? Why would you tell me to get tickets to a show if you're not going to be here at night?" And
Well,
he goes,
Mr. Communication here didn't tell me. He just said, "Want to go to a show?" I said, "Yeah." That was the map. You didn't say what time it was. So I.
Yeah, don't throw this on him. What time did you
yeah.
think the show was if you're landing like at 9 p.m.? Oh, it's a midnight show. That's fine.
I don't know. It was Vegas. Who knows? But anyway, I landed. He was texting me the whole time. He's like, "You're not gonna make this."
"No, I was
No,
coordinating."
Yeah, you were trying. So he set it up so that I would get a cab from the airport, dump my luggage without even checking in, just dump it at the hotel, and then immediately get back in the cab and go to a different hotel to this thing. I arrived at 8:28.
He got there. He flew from London to Vegas and got to the show a minute and 45 seconds before the show started.
Jeez.
That
Timing.
was perfect.
It was
I literally-
absolutely perfect.
I arrived. I was like, "Whew, that was a long. Let's go and sit down." And the show was literally like lights were fading down. Just sat down. I was like, that worked out brilliantly.
So okay, so
Did you fall asleep?
No, it's fine.
It was a badass show
Was
too.
it? This is the Cirque show out there? They've got like 9 Cirque shows in
They
there.
do.
Yeah,
Crazy
like
woman
every
who-
hotel seems like some hotels have like multiple ones,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I saw Penn and Teller out there at Rio, and they put on a
you saw Penn
hell.
and Teller?
They put on a hell of a good show. So.
That's all they do, really. It's just
Yeah,
Vegas.
they're based in Vegas, but I mean, Penn did the
They had that bullshit show for.
Yeah, I think they still do
yeah,
that.
they're still doing shows.
But they have like Penn actually has a podcast that he talks about and there's some cool stuff on. And then he was on the Celebrity Apprentice for a while. He was on the Celebrity Apprentice All Stars.
I like him because he was in Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why you like him?
So that's the first time I saw him.
Don't we all?
So okay, so you guys went to Vegas. Did you gamble at all, Gavin?
Nah.
Because you don't strike me as someone who would ever
This
gamble.
this trip to Vegas was the first time I finally learned how to play craps.
I'm
and
very, very happy
totally
about that.
hooked.
It's craps is fun,
yeah,
right?
Alan took me to like an empty craps table that wasn't in use, and he like pointed at everything, explained it all, and we went over. And the thing that struck me the most, like even after having him teach me everything, going to a table, I was really nervous I'm gonna screw it up because there's a lot of people, and I ended up standing next to the dealer. The dealer was super friendly. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is my first time, like, you were standing at a craps table. She's like, okay, well, you let me know if you have questions. And, like, she helped me make the bets and explain everything as I had questions. It was super pleasant experience.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about craps is everyone's rooting together, like everyone's cheering together, you know. Unless someone's playing don't pass, then fuck that guy. But aside from that, it's like everyone wants to do well. Like everyone is making money. If the dice
Everybody
are
wants
hot,
to win money. Okay.
well, I mean, like poker obviously is a very
Asshole.
but like poker is very combative, like because you're facing off against other people. It's like you want to beat everyone there at the table. Blackjack, you want to beat a dealer, but even then, well, you want to beat the dealer, but even then, like I can theoretically screw up someone else's.
No,
You can't-
you fucking
No. We're all
Okay.
on the same page.
No, I'm saying you
Yeah.
can't, but I'm saying some people
Makes me
feel
so
that.
mad. So
But some
every
people
time
feel that way.
Well, let's explain what you're talking about. At Blackjack,
Yes.
you're supposed to play quote unquote in a certain way.
Yes.
You hit on certain numbers, you stand on certain
yeah.
numbers.
And it totally depends in some of those gray areas like 2s against 6s and stuff like that. It totally depends on how big the deck is that you're up against, how big the shoe is, you know, for what you're
Yeah.
supposed to do. And in some of those areas, it gets really complicated. And there are some jackasses who play blackjack that if you don't play exactly right, they complain at you that you're messing up the table, which is
Yeah.
fucking impossible.
Well, that happens. Like we actually played in a poker tournament recently, like a local poker tournament, just with friends and stuff. And like there were a couple of people there that were like playing super seriously because the pot was pretty big. And it was one of those things where like, well, if he actually knew what he was doing, he wouldn't have played like that.
That's so stupid.
and
though.
you just can't do that. It's just
well,
like,
that's an excuse.
It's an excuse, but it's kind of like
It's random. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be random.
yeah. I mean, like, but
And in poker, if the other person doesn't know what they're doing, take their money.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But but in poker, like if someone has like a 3-6 offsuit as a pocket and they go in on the blind and then they catch something, like typically you would fold that hand, or like someone who plays poker a lot would fold
Right.
that hand. But it's like, but if you know someone's never played poker before, it's like, all right, Gavin has no idea what the fuck we were talking about.
Right.
He's making this stupid ass face.
No,
at
yeah,
me.
I totally agree. I know
but anyway,
people that bitch
But
about
here's why it aggravates me though, is that those guys always like, it's always when you're with a girl and you're trying to teach her how to play blackjack,
Yeah.
she's playing for the first time, and you're like, don't worry about it, it's nobody cares what you're doing or anything like that,
Yeah.
and there's always some jackass going, oh, you took my fucking king, and she's like, oh. And you're like, fuck you, dude,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the fuck out of here.
But anyway.
You're at a $10 table, get the fuck out
But
of
anyway,
here.
that being said, that's why I love craps, because craps is everyone cheering together, and like that's when you hear people, screaming and yelling.
So I
unless
did.
you play the dark side.
Well, then fuck
I
that
did
guy.
have kind of an asshole experience when playing craps. So
Really?
at one point, like, I wanted to play. All the tables were crowded except there was one table where it was like one guy playing. I was like, okay, cool. I'll walk up over there and play. So like I cash in some chips, and then the dealer immediately passes me the dice. And the guy who's at the table was like, are you fucking kidding me? This guy just walks up and you give him the dice? And I was like, oh, shit. And he's got like a t-shirt with like guns on it. That's like, it says something like, don't mess with me. And it's got like all these handguns. I'm like,
ain't scared or
I was like,
something.
oh my God, this guy's got like a super like Southern accent. I was like, I'm sorry. He's like, you better roll well to make up for that. And luckily, I had a few good rolls in a
Okay.
row, and he won some money. He said he calmed down. This situation
What do you mean roll
was
well?
not tense. He won money. Like I rolled. Like I think as soon as I picked it up, I rolled a 7, so he won his money
Double the
back
pass line.
immediately.
So there's no skill whatsoever.
No, there is no skill in craps.
No, it's
Okay.
just odds. It's just
You gotta
what
roll dice.
number do you
So
think
it's
is
just
gonna come
chatting
up?
shite then.
Craps is actually, I think, supposedly the first roll of someone throwing craps is the best odds you have in Vegas. Like, it's something like, I forget what it is exactly.
Like
It's 51% or
You
something.
put money down on the first roll, and if they roll a 7 or 11, you instantly win money.
You win.
Yeah.
If you
If
put
they-
on the pass line.
on the pass line.
Yeah, if they don't roll that, then your bet rides, and then you hope they roll that number again.
Yeah.
It's the most we've ever talked about gaming. Now we're talking about gambling.
Now we're talking about a different kind of game.
Yeah, I mean, I watched You and Dan did a few bets, and you both won like all your bets. And
Yeah.
Bernie won $100 for me. Or what was that the time? Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear about it.
Yeah, I still wasn't tempted to do it. I just
Yeah, at one point I was waiting for Alan. Like, we were supposed to go to the podcast awards, and he texted me. He's like, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. So I walked over to the craps table, and I was playing. Then he walked up. He's like, oh, hey, I'm here. Let's go. He's like, okay, well, let me cash out. And I was like, $250 up in 10 minutes. I was like, wow.
Dude, if you can find a hot table, I've actually been down to the point where I had $20 left, and it was on the table. I had nothing in front of me, literally just nothing in front of me. If the guy would have crapped out, I would have been done. And I went from that $20, and I walked away from the table up $700.
Nice.
And it's just like those experiences are the best ones. Those are the ones that make you want to go back to
What
Vegas.
does the term hot table mean?
That means like someone's throwing points and not crapping.
You going to
out.
start
So
betting on
someone's
this
just getting
podcast?
lucky.
No. I'm going to give Gavin back $200.
Whoa.
I'm giving this
Whoa.
back to you.
All right.
Because Dan gave that to you to give to me. Dan from Slow Mo Guys that you brought out to
Slow-Mo
Vegas.
team.
Slow-Mo team. That you brought out to Vegas. He sent that along to send to me, and I want to give it back because I want to have the story more than I want to have the money, Dan, of why you owe me the $200. Because Dan is a fucking idiot. Dan might be one of the most
Wait,
like
so
lovable buffoons.
Is that
ever.
Gavin's money or Dan's
So
money?
that's Dan's money that Gavin gave to me on behalf of
Dan,
me.
if you're not watching this,
Yeah.
That's what I did to
right
him.
now, baby.
He gave me $100. He goes, here, if you see, we have a system in roulette, Jack.
Yeah.
I understand. He goes, do the system, bet on black if you see a bunch of reds. And I said, okay. And I took the $100 from him. I go, by the way, your $100, you lost your bet. I put it in
you
my
lost your
pocket. Sorry about that, dude. But Dan, it was unbelievable. We went out to dinner. We went to a really nice dinner on New Year's Eve night. Okay, it was Ashley, my girlfriend Ashley, Gavin, and Dan. And
lovely meal.
lovely meal, lovely time.
You and a
Dan-
bunch of women. Nice.
Well, it was yeah, right, exactly. Dan's actually a burly, big dude. He's a big
yeah?
military dude, yeah. But I guess ironically, he decided that these tickets, or what we paid for the seats at dinner, I guess he assumed that like everything was all inclusive. So he busts out the cocktail menu and he decides to order like in a row every girly drink on the menu. And Dan can pack it away, dude. He must have had what, 10 drinks, 12 drinks?
Easily, yeah.
And I mean, some of them were so like crazy. They were big fish bowls with like glowing ice cubes.
Yeah,
in
the
them.
ice cubes are flashing.
They were flashing, like LED.
Classic.
Was it
It's
like
like-
a prefix menu?
Yes,
Oh,
exactly
okay,
right.
and then- okay.
And our courses were set and all that, and
Okay,
so
okay.
and it was really nice.
Fucking rookie mistake.
Yeah, it was definitely. And then the bill came, and I said, whoa! I said, Dan, look how much all your stuff was. And then he gets it, he goes like this, and he just like fucking color rained out of him, just like turned white as she's like, And then he told another story about how he doesn't understand menus, and I thought it was a joke that he was making.
Every interaction between him and a waitress takes forever.
It
'cause
does.
He just confuses them, and then there's like a ring of confusion where she's explaining it back to him, but he's not listening.
Yeah.
And he's trying to he's trying to mix meals. We once at a Mexican restaurant, he tried to order the burrito fajitas or something. He was like trying to mix it all around, and he was like, no, but do you want this? Or wait, do you want this as an appetizer? And he's like, no, idiot, no. I want wait, and also no, take the onions out of this as well. I don't want that, and then I want this with this. And he got to the point where the waiter was just like, I'm sorry, and he walked off, and someone else came. Took his order.
That waiter has a podcast. And he's telling that story right now.
It's just unbelievable.
The next day, and then he told another story about how he went to McDonald's and he didn't understand the menus are vertical columns, so he just read straight across. He goes, I want a Big Mac Chicken Legend Sundae.
And the person's like, which one? You want the Big Mac or the Chicken Legend? He's like, no. The Big Mac chicken. Oh.
He just keeps reading.
God.
We went to
What did he think that was? Is what I wondered.
I don't know.
In his mind, he's like, that sounds good.
How far is he
Oh,
going
on
to
top
read?
of a
What did
Sunday,
he imagine that the Big Mac chicken?
Big Mac Chicken Legend milkshake apple juice.
The
Oh
next
my
day,
God.
we went out to this restaurant in Mandalay Bay. It said, I've probably shown you this place. It's the restaurant where everything is white. The walls are white, the decorations are white,
like
tables
the
are
top
white.
of the hotel, right?
It's got the bar is really cool. Like we had a way up view of
All
the top of the
glasses are red, though.
stratosphere.
That was the only thing.
Yeah, the drinking glasses are red for some reason there. Weird. So we're ordering food there, and I'm buying them dinner. This is after the New Year's Eve night when he spent, and I picked up his drinks, which is why he felt obligated to pay me back, which is really very nice, but not necessary.
Although also 200, way not enough.
So it's like, he had like $350 worth of drinks, I think.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he was
Holy
just,
shit.
he
Are
was
you gonna
like,
keep the like glowing ice cubes or anything?
they took a bunch of pictures with him on
It looked
Instagram.
like you were drinking a sunset. It was really
Drinking a sunset.
I took a picture actually of the receipt. I can read you some of the names of the drinks.
I have a
God.
video Because I knew it was going to be horrendous. Because you said before the bill came, he's like, you need to drink something free. And he's like, what? So I've got a video of you. I've got a video of you opening the bill and being like, oh. It's a great video.
Look at this. Here's a picture of the bill. It's how long Dan's
Holy crap. Hold on, what's that stamp say? Gratuity included?
Yeah. Upcharge, upcharge, upcharge. He had a Last Tango, a Blue Teeny, a Mango Madness, a Raz Gito. And then even to the end of the meal, when I knew he didn't know he was paying for all of his drinks, we were like, did he get the waiter say, "You want coffee?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll have a coffee." And Jinx goes, "I'll have a coffee too." And Gavin's like, "No, I'm fine." And Dan goes, "I'll have an Irish coffee." And I'm like, "Sure, what the fuck? Give me an Irish coffee. Why don't we do that?" The next night, we go to this white restaurant where everything's all white, and we're ordering. Dan is trying to order his food, and he gets in an argument with the waitress. Like he's like, "I want scallops, the appetizer, and we want this. What do you have for the thing? A steak.
Something.
They had a pot roast
There
thing.
were no scallops appetizers.
There was no scallop appetizer. Another dinner. And she's like, "So do you want scallops or thing?" He ends up ordering 2 dinners. 2 dinners he gets. And he's like everyone else.
Everyone gets like a tiny little petite appetizer. Like, oh yeah. He gets a big plate of it. He's like, yeah.
They brought an entree out as an appetizer?
He just brought it in his
They
place.
brought him a dinner and a second dinner.
And then, to be fair to the waitress, she was very cool and patient with him. He was like, yeah, all right, yeah, went off. And then Dan went to piss, the waitress came back, and you were like, "So he ordered 2 meals, right?" And she was like, "Yeah, I don't know what the hell it is."
Oh my god. She probably thought you guys were like hobbits. It's like you get a second dinner.
Oh my
So
God.
that's why Dan was nice. Afterwards, he was like, I had a great time, and I'm really sorry, but give money to Gavin so he can pay you back for me ordering 2 dinners and
Hashtag
every
Gavin, man.
drink in Vegas.
Fucking leech.
Dan
No, it was. Let me tell you, make it fun. Dan was a blast in Vegas.
No, he actually came here afterwards because you guys went out.
Yeah,
to
he
film
popped in on the podcast.
He
Oh,
might
yeah, that's right.
might be like one of the quintessential, like the perfect guy to go to Vegas with. He's just like up for anything, do
That's
whatever.
He,
Yeah.
he had a very awkward exit from the green screen at the podcast.
Just like from in the back, he just like stands off to the side. You can see his arm, and he's like, "Oh, I'll go back this way." And he pretends to walk downstairs, like it's really funny. And then he just stands up in the back, and it's like,
Yeah, we
"Oh,
had
am I
to-
still on screen? Damn
We
it!"
just say, just leave, Dad. Just walk away.
He's out of the shot.
Whoever was cutting to him, genius. Brandon, that was amazing. Just leave it on
Oh,
there.
that's so funny.
Is it okay to say this? He's coming back, right?
Yeah, he's gonna come back.
He's gonna come back like in a month or so.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot some more. Because I don't
can't wait.
I don't
I
want
can't
to keep
wait.
having to go to England to shoot slow-mo guys, so I'm just gonna bring him.
Yeah,
That's cool.
fuck it.
Speaking
Put
of
the work on him.
people,
How long is he in the military? How long does he have left?
He's going on tour to Afghanistan for 6 months.
Film some slow-mo stuff there.
Wow.
There you go.
yeah.
And he's well up for that.
Yeah.
I'm like, "You're
He's
a
talking about
lunatic."
that. We'll talk to him next time he's here, but like extremely well traveled too. Like he's been all over South America. Like before he went in the military.
Wow.
He just traveled all over the place. Yeah. He's done a lot of really cool stuff, man.
Yeah, he went because he used to be a nerd. He went away to South America, he did like Peru and Bolivia.
Yeah, like all the nerds do.
those
No, those nerd countries in South America.
How many times have you been to Peru, Gus?
He was a nerd at school, and then he did that, and he came back like a decent guy. Is what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
He came back and got laid.
Something
and, like,
happened
yeah.
in Peru.
This is
Did a lot
literally
of
a
drugs.
podcast full of guys in bow ties talking about video games. They're pointing out
Nerds.
Some nerd went to Peru.
But you got a llama.
Let me read this little bit here. So I remind everyone that this podcast is also brought to you by the final season of Spartacus. But I bought like the Spartacus seasons on Xbox Video, and I've been watching them. And it's really, really interesting. It's really cool. Like before watching the series, I didn't know that Spartacus was a real person. Like I always assumed it was like King Arthur or like a made-up story.
Yeah. Well, I see. I assume like so. I've watched it too. I got the DVDs as well. I've been watching it. I've watched about half of the first season, and I thought Spartacus was like from the movie Spartacus. I thought it was that story.
I am
It's a
Spartacus.
completely different story. It's
Yeah.
like it's pretty damn cool, man. It's sort of like Gladiator meets 300 at least, and it's just like wow, this is really really badass.
Yeah, and there's like, this is gonna sound like a terrible thing to say. There are boobs constantly in that TV show.
That's what
yeah.
Jack was telling me about it.
Yeah,
at lunch.
it's just
He was
like
there's
casual.
boobs everywhere.
There are boobs everywhere.
It's just like camera pans over the crowd. Like,
Yeah.
there's not even always
That's
good
exactly
boobs.
what
like,
Jack said.
It's like gross boobs sometimes. Like oh.
Yeah.
There's
But
still
it's like,
boobs.
But it's like so like they have these gladiator fights in these arenas, and like the camera's just panning through the audience, and it's just like women screaming and like their tops are off, and they're screaming, their boobs are flopping everywhere. It's just like How do we get audiences like that at RTX? Can we make that happen?
Esports.
Everyone's in slow motion. No, but they do some really cool stuff on the show. You should check it out, Gavin, because they do some cool slow-mo stuff, and like they do some.
It reminds me of
Slow motion
300
moves.
in that aspect,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
because they really adopt like a graphic novel feel.
Yeah.
Where
300 was like 40 minutes long, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
the actual
Like,
movie.
When you speed it up.
And
yeah.
you shot some of Dread, not to get off topic, but you shot some of Dread, and there's a lot of slow-mo stuff. But then I realized when actually watching the movie Dread that a lot of that slow-mo stuff must be CG because it's all gores, you know.
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I only did pickups of like
Yeah.
stuff flying through the air and like element stuff against green screen. It wasn't the They shot most of that in South Africa. I wasn't there.
Oh really?
That's cool. But yeah, but like Spartacus, like they do some cool stuff where they do almost like I don't know what it's called, but like almost the Ken Burns effect, where it's like cutouts with stuff happening behind it,
yeah.
and kind of like this sort of different slow motion and lots of blood and gore.
They do that a lot for the montage stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But it's a cool show. Like it's really kind of caught me, and I'm excited to see the rest of the series.
I was a little concerned after the first episode. The first episode I felt was kind of slow and
Yeah.
clunky, but then you watch the second one, it really.
Yeah,
picks
In
up.
every series like that.
Well, that's what I realized. It's a pilot, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely tell like there's like the pilot was a lot of green screen work, and then from that point on, it's like now they have some real sets and they actually have some cool actors and like the one of the main guys is one of the dudes from 300, the dude who gets kicked into the well.
Oh yeah.
he's like the instructor.
This is Madness guy?
This is Madness guy. So like he's like the instructor at the Ludus, like the gladiator school that they're all at.
I don't know
So-
if you noticed, but Sam Raimi is one of the executive
Yeah,
producers.
Sam Raimi and Robert Tappert, who were like the two guys behind like all Evil Dead, and those guys have been around forever. So.
I learned a funny fact about Sam Raimi is that he always wears a suit on set. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then he also he buys all of his suits one size too big.
Really?
For comedic purposes. Because he thinks it's funny.
You-
Like the Three
like a-
Stooges did that. And now that somebody pointed that out to me, the Three Stooges wear suits that are one size too big, and I never noticed that before.
I read that Steven Spielberg never shows up. He never shows up for
Pronunciate it
the
right.
Foyer.
the last shot of any movie he does.
Really?
Because he didn't show up to the last shot for Jaws because he thought they were going to throw him in the water with the with the shark.
Yeah.
So now like he kept that up. Now for every movie he never shows up to the last thing they
it's
shoot.
like a
So everyone
superstition.
raps and he's not there.
Yeah, they rap and
That's weird.
he's not there to
He's on
rap.
the next
He's
movie.
like, no, he's waiting outside. And
He's like, I don't want to get thrown in.
There's actually
Whatever.
there's a cool.
That would be awesome if he shows up for the last shot of his last movie and they throw him in a Shark Tank. They got him, finally.
It's the worst the defense ever. They just do it the day before.
Yeah, now I'm sure.
Well, I think he does it now for Super
Yeah,
Spurs
yeah,
because Jaws
Yeah.
was going to be a flop and was a huge hit.
I heard that Robbie Coltrane, whenever he goes on set, he always sits in the director's chair and then stands up and gets the director's chair wedged on his ass and walks around and makes everyone laugh.
All
Like every
right.
day, it's just what you do on Harry Potter and stuff.
Nice. To jump back, there's a book called If Chins Could Kill by Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
And it talks about him growing up. Like him and Sam Raimi were like best friends growing up as kids, and they did Evil Dead together, and sort of they kind of grew through the industry together. And like they talk a lot about like Sam's interaction, and like they love Three Stooges and sort of that slapstick comedy. And when they did Evil Dead, it was kind of like they had actually made some short films together, and they made a horror short film, and like they would show these little short films at like colleges and stuff, and the one that would always get a rise out of people were the horror films, where people would jump scare and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're like, we should make a horror movie, and so they made Evil Dead, and that
Sam
launched
Raimi's
their careers.
Cool though because he always goes back and makes small movies
Yeah.
in between making he made Spider-Man. He was the guy behind Spider-Man 1 and 2, right?
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, the Tobey Maguire ones, not the
Yeah.
new ones,
Yeah.
not the Andrew Garfield ones. And then what's he doing now?
He's executive producing a remake of Evil Dead,
Right.
actually, and I'm not sure what he's working on after
We saw
that.
a clip for that at Budnumathon.
But,
But in between those Spider-Man movies, he went back and made a small horror movie called Drag Me to Hell.
which is awesome.
oh yeah.
Great movie,
Great
right?
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I caught it at South by, and it was one of those things like, wow, this is awesome. It's like,
Drag Me to Hell is great. It's great the whole way through
yeah.
too.
It's like
The last moment of the movie. It's
goofy
great.
and gory and dumb, but awesome. Like he had Darkman. Like people forget that. Like
Oh yeah, Darkman.
yeah,
Jesus.
that was Liam Neeson. Was the
Yeah.
star of Darkman. It was like that was before he got huge and.
Didn't
and-
Liam Neeson never act a day in his life before he was like 40 years old or something like that?
Really?
Or 41, yeah.
Well,
Like his first
he
season,
said
he
that
was,
about Alan Rickman too.
was it Alan Rickman or it's one of those guys? Or
I
maybe
think Alan
Patrick
Rickman is true.
Stewart. Yeah.
Liam Neeson's accent, I can't figure it out. Where is he actually from?
He's Ireland.
Yeah, he's Irish,
he's-
right?
He never sounds. It doesn't sound like an Irish accent. It doesn't sound American. It doesn't sound anything. Just like a weird mix of everything.
No
So
one
I
will
was
claim him.
I was so shocked during the Golden Globes the other day when Damian Lewis won
You didn't know
Oh,
he was
yeah,
British?
the-
a Golden Globe for Homeland, and he goes up there and accepts it with a British accent. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Normally I can tell when Brits are doing American accents, but that one I never.
Yeah.
I seen him in Band of Brothers and Homeland,
I
and I was
was-
like, what the fuck?
You know the
Really?
one who really fucked with me?
Spider-Man?
Is, Stringer Bell from The Wire. The black dude.
Yeah,
from The
yeah.
Wire?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's British dude.
Idris Elba.
There's the guy in Homeland, the CIA director, who's also British in real life.
I was surprised it's
The black
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew
is that his
yeah,
name?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, not from Spider-Man, but from Social Network.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
I
he's really
just
British.
watched an
Well,
interview with him.
When you hear Christian Bale's real voice,
Yeah.
Christian Bale's
Or even
voice
like
is
like
messed.
Yvonne,
Yeah.
Yvonne Strahovski, or how you say her name, the girl from Chuck who was in Mass Effect. She's Australian, I think.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So in Mass Effect, it's like her real voice.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like, wow, you see her in Chuck, and it's like, oh, you're not
A lot
American.
of
Yeah, and
people
she
were
was in
surprised
Dexter,
by
and she
Hugh
was-
Laurie as well.
I wasn't surprised by that one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
His name's Hugh.
Did you watch Golden Globes?
Yeah, I did.
They were awesome.
They were pretty good. The thing I was surprised by is I felt like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler weren't hosting very much. Like they were the hosts,
Yeah.
but they were almost never
But when
doing
they were,
anything.
God, when they were on screen, it was awesome. Like, like the bit when they got nominated for what female actress in a comedy series, and it was what Tina Fey was hanging out with. Was it George Clooney, I guess, or something? Like she was snuggled up with someone, and like Amy Poehler. No, she was with Jennifer Lopez, and they were like all nervous and stuff. And then it cut to Amy Poehler, and she was like snuggled up next to George Clooney, and it's like they were having fun with it, which is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So.
So
And then a couple of times they dressed up as like fake
Yeah, they
nominees.
yeah they
for
announced
categories.
they announced fake movies.
Yeah,
and,
like
it was
they
cut to them.
announced them. I was like, what?
It was like dog president or something. Like that. And I was like,
I was like, oh,
Tina
that's-
Fey
that's
dressed like a
funny.
man sitting there. It's like that's I like that. I like that they're kind of poking fun because they're making movies. You know, it's not brain surgery. Like every time I hear like, oh, they were so brave to make this film. It's like they're making a movie.
Does
you
it
know?
drive anyone else crazy that the Golden Globes lump comedy and musical together?
Yeah.
Why the fuck?
Yeah.
It seems
I think
like,
it's just lighthearted is what
Yeah.
they need.
but musical, I feel, goes more with drama.
It's
Yeah.
Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman got his first movie role at 46.
But-
Sorry, corrected.
It was
What
kind of
movie
crazy.
was it?
Like, did you catch too at the Golden Globes that so Ben Affleck won for Best Director and Argo won for Best Picture, and spoiler alert, sorry. And Ben Affleck isn't even nominated for Best Director for
Yes.
the Oscars, which is kind of shocking, honestly.
Yeah, no, there was neither was Catherine Bigelow for Zero Dark 30. I
No,
believe,
that's right. Yeah, but that
That's
reminds me
surprising.
like Jim Carrey. He won for I think Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind for Best Actor, and he wasn't even nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor. It was like, or I think he did that. That happened too with Man on the Moon. Like he won a Golden Globe, but wasn't even
Yeah.
nominated for an Oscar or something.
That
It's like
happens every now and then.
it's kind of
I
surprising.
feel like the Golden Globes are gaining more legitimacy lately.
Yeah.
Like for a long time, it's a long running show.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's
Or the
really
Academy's losing ground because they have like 10 Best Picture nominees now.
yeah.
maybe God.
Or 9, it depends. What
I'm
they
just
feel
not
like.
bothered by award shows. I don't even, not really that interested.
Oh
in
yeah.
it.
Well, should we go into a further
Wink.
gaming thing?
I wish there was a
discussion.
gaming award show or a proper gaming award show.
There is. Well,
VGAs?
Dice is coming up too, and then there's
Oh.
BAFTAs. The BAFTAs are pretty well.
Yeah, those are very
What's BAFTA's got to do?
industry centric, but very prestigious. And
Yeah.
they definitely have a lot of
Tho-
weight
those-
to them.
those
I
are-
think Jack wants something public facing.
Yeah, like because right now we have the VGAs, which run by Spike TV, and what I always come back to for that was 3 years ago they had the awards painted on naked women, and it's like this is supposed to be your big night, like let's show the rest of the world how important we are, and here we are painting.
But if you go back to like the 70s for the Oscars, it looks like just a
Still,
big
everyone's
joke.
everyone's
we could do
suits
better than
and-
that.
Everybody's hammered
We
and
can
like,
do better than that.
but it's early stuff. I mean,
I
and
guess
movies
so.
were pretty well established by that point. I mean,
Yeah.
video games are probably what in their second decade.
Yeah,
like
but video
third
games
decade? Yeah.
generate as much, if not more, revenue than the
No,
movie
it's true.
industry.
It's true. Things are a little more sophisticated now. I get it, but yeah, it'll catch up.
I would love to see like a proper award ceremony for video
Let's
games.
start one.
Let's do it. RTX.
Wait, the Rooster Teeth Podcast Award.
Yeah, podcast award.
You know,
We're this year.
Freddie W came by. He was on the podcast a few weeks ago. He came here. I gave him his trophy from 2 years ago.
He gave it back. It's on you now, Freddie.
Yeah, no, because Burnie took it back and said, "Oh, we'll mail it to you. Don't worry about
No,
it."
actually,
Yeah.
Freddie did this.
Yeah, 'cause we're gonna do that.
Freddie, here's the trophy you won for award. He goes, "Oh yeah." Dump. Like literally, like put it down. And I was like, "Okay, we'll mail
No,
it to you."
because he won it for Flower Warfare back in like
Yeah.
2011 or something like that. And that
I
was-
think he's got a Kickstarter going right now for
yeah?
Video
For-
Game High School Season 2. so.
They are projected to pass their season 1 total in 1 week so far
Oh, wow.
with the rate
Yeah.
they're going.
That's awesome.
Man, Hannah did one on Indiegogo that she raised like 150K in a day.
Yeah.
Like
Jesus.
in
What
6
for?
hours.
What?
She's taking My Drunk Kitchen on the road.
Yeah, she's
That's
gonna do
awesome.
a tour.
Yeah, in fact, you can still donate to Hannah's thing.
That's
yeah.
cool. Hannah's awesome.
We all love Hannah. And Hannah was a guest on the podcast before.
I should start
She was a riot.
Indiegogo to have a second floor in my house.
Yeah.
She come back to RTX this year, right? Probably, maybe.
I hope so. Yeah.
talk to
She's
her.
awesome.
Well, we should try to convince her to come to Austin
So,
for
dude,
one of
we-
her things.
Yeah, we're in the process of starting that ball rolling. We just launched RTX ticket sales.
Ticket sales. Buy your tickets. RTXevent.com.
So buy tickets.
Gee, what? $55 for 3 days?
$50.
$50 for 3 days.
3 days.
How much is that, Gavin, per day?
What? 18. What is it?
We're also
You're actually pretty close.
1666, I think. We're also having,
Based in
Spill.
Peru.
Spill is another website here in town, and they had their own event in Austin called Spill.con.
Spill.con, yeah.
Which was around the same time, and we convinced them to have it at RTX.
Nice.
So all the Spill events will be at RTX.
That's cool. And Spill's more based around like the actual filmmaking
Film.
community, right?
Mm-hmm. And we attended their event a couple of years ago, and they're good. They're good people.
Yeah, they are. We like
So
we like those
they're
guys.
going to have a whole area programming at RTX this year.
Cool.
So check it out.
No, RTX is going to be bigger and better this year. I know we've got a bunch of really cool stuff
definitely
lined up.
Yeah, and if you're in Australia or that far away and you can't make it all the way to RTX, we started talking about our PAX Australia lineup too.
Oh,
Just
yeah?
to figure out who we're sending. So I think
Cro-
Jack.
I'm
actually-
crossing my fingers.
Jack made the first cut of the list.
I'm on.
Yes.
I'm on the list
I-
right
I-
now.
I sent Jack's name on the tentative attending list.
Well, there's no Halo games coming out over PAX Australia, right?
Surprise, Halo 5.
As far as I know.
We'll see
No,
if
that
there's a
was-
surprise E3 announcement. Halo 5 in 1 month.
Did you get surprised at all by the fact that Major League Baseball voted nobody into the Hall of Fame
No,
this year?
shocking.
Yeah, I thought that was really weird.
Well,
Yeah.
because it wasn't not Manny Ramirez. Who was the Mike Piazza? He was up for
Craig
it.
Digio.
It was,
Craig
also,
Biggio,
it was
yeah.
also Dale Murphy's final year of eligibility.
And he didn't
Oh,
get
yeah.
it.
Did not get it.
But no, this was the year that all the steroid guys. Let's talk about sports on this podcast. That's what's gonna put us in that category.
Well, steroids is relevant because like 2 days from now, a famous Austinite is going to go on Oprah and reveal that he took
Well,
fucking
you
steroids.
talked to her yesterday, and it's gonna go up on Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
that-
What the fuck did I say?
yeah. I was-
Whatever. Anyway, what were you gonna say, Gus? You pointed at me. And
I want to say real fast. Barbara's texting me. RTX panel submissions are also open as well.
Oh,
So
cool.
if you have an idea for panel, submit it. We're taking all suggestions and then we'll narrow it down from there.
I think we doubled up on literally every Rooster Teeth panel.
Yeah.
I was talking with Barbara about it. Like, there's the Rooster Teeth panel, the AH panel, the podcast panel, and what's the one other one? Barbara, come tell me what it is.
Having a
Yep.
panel.
Oh.
Yeah, we
yeah,
doubled
there's
up.
a little
We doubled up on all the main stage ones. I think we're gonna do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
So you
When
have-
she came in today, we talked about doing 2 Achievement Hunter panels.
I
so.
snuck in on Jordan at his panel, at the RTA panel last year. Remember that?
Oh no, we were hiding under the table. Remember?
No, I snuck in on you before
Oh,
that.
yeah. I was getting
So
ready.
like I had a run of like I knew how to get around the convention center through like the back access corridors. So I walked up to the room for the RTAA panel because I was on that too, and I opened like the back secret entrance doors, and I walk in, and Jordan and Talia are like just dancing in the middle of an empty room, and I walk in, and they both turn around, and have the most embarrassed look on their face.
That's what.
Where did you come from?
If ever I picture you and Thalia, that's exactly what I picture you doing. Just
Yeah,
getting
that's
your
what
groove
I
on
would
somewhere.
So we're saying about steroids.
Oh, well, Lance Armstrong is going
Oh,
on.
Yeah, he's
going on
admitting,
Oprah.
admitting doping supposedly.
What a
gonna-
piece of shit.
That
Yeah,
sucks,
fuck that
dude.
guy. I was all for him. Like when the whole thing where he was like, like I'm done fighting this, like whatever, I
Yeah.
don't give a shit anymore. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm cool with that. And now it's like he's coming out, he's like, oh no, actually,
Yeah, people
like,
had
well, fuck you now.
People had turned on him, and at that point,
Yeah.
I was still like, well, no, he's just done fighting. He's still claiming
Yeah.
innocence. But then and so then I feel like extra betrayed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
like-
well, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, but
you
if
know?
everyone was doing it, he had to.
But then he
didn't
should have
he?
admitted it earlier.
could've
That's the thing. Like he fought it to the point where I was convinced. I was on his side. I was like, all right, I guess he didn't do it, and it sucks that they were witch hunting this guy.
You have to be-
And now he's like, oh, I actually was doing
But
it.
you have to be really good anyway. Like, I couldn't just chuck a load of steroids
So,
and then bike for 120
Okay,
miles or whatever.
take
Yeah.
all that off the
It's
table.
a
All
lot
that
to
off the
say
table.
that you're the best,
Yeah.
even though you're on the same level because
If
you're all doing the same amount
everyone's
of
on
steroids.
steroids, then you have to go up to.
he's still the best.
if steroids were okay and if everyone could do them, fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're not supposed
Yeah,
to. And
in
they
a corrupt
they
contest.
test to stop the
It's
use
like
of
leaving your phone on an airplane.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
No, not
It's
at all.
perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. No, but like, take all that off the table.
Okay.
Why is he doing it? Like after just a month ago, he was saying no, and I'm just not going to fight this anymore. Then it all goes away, and now all of a sudden he's coming out and saying
supposedly what I heard
yeah,
was
Brandon's going like this, yeah, because of money.
yeah, supposedly he's actually because he had to leave his Livestrong organization, and I think they're seeing a big hit there. And that's something that's not affecting him directly, but it's affecting his charity organization. And I think he's kind of owning up to that and being like, okay, I fucked up.
They got more
Don't
donations
punish
in
them.
one day, their highest record day after he left, though.
Really? Wow.
What? You think he's getting sued? Brandon says he's getting
He's getting
sued.
sued by a tabloid, I think, in Britain. He sued them for libel.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody's like, all his sponsors are trying to get their money back.
So Brandon's
Then
saying
he was like,
Hold on, we have to summarize for you. 'Cause you're not on the mic. So he's getting sued by a tabloid in the UK because he sued them for libel.
and won.
at
Who
least
is it?
there's
And
some-
won. And he
And,
won.
and
Report they
also
want
all
their
of his
money
all of his sponsors want their money
They
back
all
as
pulled
well.
out.
They all
Yeah.
pulled out. Okay.
Okay.
So-
Wow, thanks, Brandon. Shut up.
Wait, so I don't get it then. So why would you admit to it then at that point? Because then you're fucked.
Is he
Now
getting,
it's like,
maybe he's getting paid for this?
well, I know. I mean,
Maybe he's
doing
getting
an Oprah interview.
blackmailed and bribed into admitting something that he didn't do.
No.
Oh, what is that
I don't know.
horseshit?
But no, I was all for
You
the
sound like a
dude.
true Austinite.
No, I was all for the dude. I was like, I had his back. Now fuck that guy. I hope he
Maybe
gets
he's coming
hit
out
by
with
an
a line of
18-wheeler.
steroids. That would be fucking awesome.
Be strong.
Hope he gets hit by an 18-wheeler on
strong.
360.
Get strong.
Get strong.
So wait. Speaking of pulling out,
Go ahead.
if you were to talk about a lady part to the lady,
Go on.
This was a.
we were talking about this earlier. How would you refer to the lady part?
This was pre-shit condom before the podcast.
Yeah.
So are we talking like casual conversation or dirty talk?
Say you're in the act and it's like,
You're
So
in
dirty
the
oh,
act.
I like what you did there with your.
Nice job
I
with the.
Good job with your lady part.
But like, what do you call it?
Pussy.
That's the default term.
Every
Yeah.
girl I've ever known has hated that.
Just once you're in them, it doesn't matter if they hate it or not.
Yeah, exactly.
That's over.
They
You
should-
have won.
That's the great
Plant your flag.
Once you're in them, it doesn't matter if they like
You
it
can
or
just
not.
like, you can say anything you want.
Yeah.
I hate you.
All bets are off.
I think what you. I think
Then
you
it's
have,
like riding a Bronco.
Hang on. Here we go. Woohoo!
it's just like anything else. It's a process of figuring out what she is comfortable with calling it.
What works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So you have to wait for her to reference it before.
No, you don't. You don't have to wait for her to reference it. You don't.
Gus almost just lost
I
it.
almost spit my beer.
Oh man.
How would you do that? Would you wait for her to reference
I don't
it?
know, just keep throwing stuff at it.
You would try bread.
So I forget what this is.
Yeah.
called.
What? I'm throwing this at your what again?
But how often
What would you
I
call
feel
it?
like
What would you call it?
What's your default?
clunge? I feel like with a girl,
That is not your default.
That's oh, God.
You have never said that.
Clunge.
What's your default? I owned up to it immediately. What's yours?
I have no idea. That's why I'm asking. I have
You've
no idea
said
what to
it
call
before.
it.
You've had to have
I
said
don't.
it
I
before.
avoid the subject like the plague. I'll be like, that was great, you know.
Wow.
That's the hottest dirty talk ever.
What's your default term for your genitalia?
Knob.
That you want her to say
Really?
knob?
That's the sexy thing? Like,
John Thomas?
yeah, I'm
Nah,
on your
just like
knob.
cock or knob or something.
She's like,
But
oh,
like-
I love your knob.
Yeah.
When I picture a knob, I picture something like this big. You know,
Yeah.
like barely sticks out. Like it's like the knob on the radio. What a satisfying knob.
Anyway,
Picture somebody giving Gavin a hand job like this.
I can't get good reception.
Anyway, my point is, like with a girl, I feel like you should compliment the girl, like tell them they look good and all that. Maybe you can get detail about some things. I will never describe that in any way. Like,
Oh, you absolutely should.
yeah, so you would say to a girl, "Lovely minge" or whatever.
Absolutely.
What would you say?
Absolutely. I would even make the hand gesture like that.
That ninja's banging.
Lovely minge.
Just a gesture. So the best part is when you say it enough times, you don't have to say anymore. You just go. Yeah. No, absolutely.
So you would compliment a visual.
No questions. No
Okay,
questions.
so what would you call it?
I would use pussy. That's what I would use. Yeah. And then I would find
Same
out.
thing, pussy.
You're making a nose? You said cludge.
Yeah.
How are you judging?
Oh God.
Clunge, not
Clunge.
cludge.
But then you figure out like I mean a lot of people say I hate that word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
It's
go,
like,
I just
okay,
say
like,
vagina.
alright.
That's like, you know.
So you'd say, "Oh,
Is it?
smashing
doctor.
vagina."
It's anatomically correct.
That vagina
Right.
is extraordinary, if I may say so.
I just
Hey,
feel like
when you wear a bow
I
tie,
love
it
you
sounds great.
sabotage yourself. Now, if you sleep with anybody who's ever listened to this podcast, they are going to think that you want to hear knob
Yeah.
in the bedroom. You're going to want to hear that.
You're
Knob.
waiting for her to say, "I want your knob in my whatever you want to call it."
Put your knob in my clunge.
I just feel like
Sounds like something you do to like
I feel like I can
hotwire a
tell.
car.
That sounds like you're trying to fix a toilet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I gotta do this knob in the clunge. It's stuck up right now.
Yeah, it sounds like you're
Sorry.
solving a puzzle in Skyrim.
What's
Oh
a
my
samoflange?
I just feel like everything else is very easy to talk about except that thing. So I just
I hear people laughing in the office, like various offices around here. I hear like nondescript laughter.
I just got a text from Barbara, all caps, pussy.
There you go. There you go. Oh my
Well, there you go.
God.
Thanks, Barbara.
Question answered. Question
Yeah,
answered.
I've learned a lot. I hope you have too at home.
Yeah, that should be your default. You know.
Yeah, that's your go-to.
Yeah. Never ever the C word. I mean, well, you can build up to it over time.
Well, if she,
They can be into it.
if she says it, it's like okay, then all bets are off. It's kind of like you gotta figure it out, and then be like, okay, like that's what you're cool with. Let's roll with that.
Yeah.
So
You just gotta roll
Anyway.
with it.
That's his advice. Roll with it. All right.
Roll with it.
Good podcast.
Jesus Christ, yeah, I don't think we're
Hey,
gonna get.
congratulations. Thanks to the crew for going nuts and getting us all set up for this thing after our power went out. I can't believe that you guys got this thing set up in like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
We went from sitting on a couch in a dark room to broadcasting in half an hour.
Funny to me is we spend hours setting up the studio. I mean, that's a process that starts like
It's
at
a
2
fucking studio.
It's
Well, you
we
stripped
start
it
like
like a
at
week
2
ago,
or
right?
3 p.m. We had just stripped everything down and rerun everything. We spent hours getting everything just right again, and fucking 30 minutes before we go live, the goddamn power for the building goes out.
Yep.
So now
it's-
you have to rip it all up in the dark. So
Yeah.
it's trashed. Probably.
Yeah, we had like flashlights and we're tripping over shit.
Yeah.
Cats running everywhere. By the way, I'd like to point out this I've never seen. A leather collar.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. That is genius.
It's very nice.
I like that.
How the fuck do you afford all your clothes? I'm curious about that.
You go to cheap places.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
You guys
Do
go
you go to like
thrift
vintage
shopping?
places?
No.
You go thrift shopping and that kind of thing?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
or like H&M or says cheap shit. That's where I'm at.
Man, there's an
The cheap
H&M in
shit
Vegas.
section.
This
You
one?
remember in Caesars, the FAO Schwartz that had the huge horse?
is that gone?
Gone.
What?
And I want to know
way.
where the fuck is
Oh.
that huge wooden horse that they had? Because it's somewhere
That's
in the
sad.
It's
world.
on Storage Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now that's a huge like 3-story H&M. That's like unbelievable.
We should go to Vegas. Let's go to Vegas as a company.
Dude,
Everyone.
I was there for 6 days for New
Yeah.
Year's. Then I went back for the awards. I'm Vegas out, man.
I got a Facebook invite from a friend of mine last night who was having a wedding in Vegas in May.
Do
and
it.
like I was so excited last night. I booked my airfare, booked my hotel.
Oh, you
I was
got-
like, yes, I'm going back to Vegas in May.
That's like winning something on eBay and paying for it immediately.
Yeah,
Like, I did it.
I
I'm
sent a
good.
text. I was like, you better not back out of that wedding because I fucking bought my shit.
No, I did too. I did. You're talking about it's Becca,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, Becca's
You
set a
booked your
date.
tickets as well.
Yeah, I would absolutely Becca's wedding. I'm all excited about it. Yeah, she plays Sister on Red vs. Blue. If you haven't heard of Becca before.
Dude, I want to go to Vegas so bad. I haven't been to Vegas in well over
I'll go
a year
get
and a
drunk
half
for that.
now. I might be going in February, like maybe for the Super Bowl. I don't know. We'll see.
I thought about possibly joining you guys for
Yeah?
your Super Bowl trip, but
That'd be fun.
I think I'm
Where
going to
you
wait
going?
now because
It
I'm
is,
going to May.
Might be going to Alan, our biz dev guy.
Guy's crazy because Becca was like a little sister to all of us. You know, and now
Is
she's
that why you
like,
call her sister?
yeah. I mean, yeah. That's why we cast her as that part. And of course, we just liked getting her in the booth and trying to make her say the filthiest stuff and see what she
The
wouldn't say.
worst stuff.
She would say anything. It was
Nice.
awesome.
I feel like these days,
Like clunge.
I feel like
Nominor clunge.
like Kara's like my little sister.
Yeah?
Like a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago, Jordan and I were at the annex. We were building the Lego
yeah.
Ford unto Dawn. It's like a little boy kind of thing, or I'm sorry, the Mega Block Ford unto Dawn.
Right.
So it's like we're sitting there, we're putting together this giant model, and then Kara like literally comes running in like a little sister. Like, what are you guys doing?
Oh, what's
and
this
I'm
stuff?
like, no, careful. I was like, we had everything laid out. It's
Back
like
away.
thousands of parts,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, back off. I was like, everything is laid out very specifically. She's like, guys, I'm not gonna ruin it. And then she picks up a box, and then like all these bags of Mega Blocks just start falling out onto the floor. And I was like, what the fuck did I say? And then she just drops it and like starts laughing and then runs around and then runs away. And I was like, this is like living at home with my little sister all over again.
Yeah, Mom.
I was like, get out of my room.
Screaming.
Anytime Kara does anything, even something helpful for Gus, he just chastises her constantly. It doesn't matter.
Whatever happened with that Ford Unthon thing?
We're
Is
still
that-
working on it.
Yeah,
really?
it's immense.
I think it's finished by now.
Longest time lapse in the world.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many pieces is it?
I don't know.
The
Like we're about a little over a third of the way through.
wow,
Dude,
that
I
Lego.
didn't know, I'll
Maybe.
be out with it. I didn't realize you were still working.
We work on it every now and then.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, bullshit.
So we'll let you know.
All right. So Vegas. Let's go to Vegas.
All right, where are we going to dinner? Last night, Gavin and I tried to go out to dinner,
Yeah.
and we tried to go to that new ramen place up north, and it
Oh,
was.
Tatsuya Ramen? That
Yeah.
place is awesome.
It's fucking
You've been there?
closed on Monday.
Yeah, I knew that.
Let's do ramen.
It's closed Sunday and Monday.
Okay, great, thanks.
Now you know.
Well, now don't try to go. Don't act like an asshole to me. Don't go on Sunday either. I'm helping you.
Let me ask you a question. When you went there, before, did you have any trouble finding the place?
No, absolutely not.
What the fuck? Gavin and I drove around that parking lot for like 20 minutes.
Well, it's you guys.
Like, I knew
To be
exactly
fair,
what it was. Like, I've been to that.
I was navigating, so we're never
Oh
gonna.
God, why would you let
If-
Gavin navigate?
Because I'm driving. What else am I going to do?
If you
Fucking-
want it,
you stick your head out the
you have
window.
to show up early. Like,
Yeah.
you have to eat an early dinner. Otherwise, the line goes out the door.
Well, that's what we did. We should have
And
a
then-
day early.
and it, like, goes down. Like, you can wait in line 2 hours.
You can
like,
wait in line 2 hours?
You could,
You
So-
think he's waiting in line 2
Yeah,
hours
don't.
for anything?
So you have to show up early.
All right. Well, not
So
there,
if you
then.
show up like right after they open, like I think they open at 5. So if you show up like at 5:30, you're probably okay.
So it's like the Franklin of
Bar of ramen, yeah.
Barbara tried to join us. We completely fucked over Barb. Like we went north. So we're in South Central Austin.
Yeah.
We go up to Northwest Austin. We invited her to go with us. Then Gavin and I drive around trying to find the place. We see it's closed. We're like, oh fuck this. So we drove away. And then we thought, oh Barb's
forgot to
there.
call her.
So Barb has arrived later than us because we
Oh,
called her
no.
out. She goes to ramen and she's like, where the fuck is this? She goes, where are you guys? We're like, oh, we went to Papados. Try to get this motherfucker to spell Papados over
Jesus.
text. Can't do it. So then we're already sitting down at the new restaurant. She's on her way there, and I go, just send her a pin. Send her your pin from your current location.
and I thought,
And she
what,
go there.
why would I send her my PIN number?
And he was like, what are you talking about? I go, here, I'll do it. And I was at the wrong location. Like, I
Oh,
just
no.
grabbed wherever we were. So she turned around and went
bragging
back.
about
I'm like,
God.
He was bragging about it. So I was like, oh, you don't know about pins? she pisses off in the wrong direction. She comes in like storming like,
she came in time for dessert, basically.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's fucking brutal.
She had Dan's third dinner. So it was okay, though.
we're still trying to eat off all the food Dan ordered when he was here.
Oh God! All right, let's
Brandon did something similar to somebody who works here, but it might be a story for another time.
Who was it?
What'd you do?
Kyle,
Yeah.
we made plans.
Wait, well,
Wait,
all right.
he has a mic.
Yeah, he has the mic. You tell the story.
Brandon, Friday made plans. He was like, everyone, we're going to this bar tonight, 8 p.m. Just be there. And nobody like left the office, so like we were all meeting around at 8, and we were like, well, what do you want to do? And Barbara's like, I don't really want to go all the way, up there. So it's like, let's do something around here. So we go to Trudy's, and Kyle didn't know. Kyle wasn't here, and halfway through our dinner, Brandon gets a text, and he looks at his phone and he just goes, "Oh no!"
That was a good Brandon impression.
It's Kyle saying, "Where you guys at?"
Oh no!
And then Brandon just like, "Maybe I can cover this up." Yeah, we'll be right there. And he just ended up telling him, and then he was like, "I feel so bad." We were like, we were like near the end, and he was like, "Maybe we can grab our check and get up there real quick." But
That was a good
Yeah.
brand impression. That's exactly the noise he made when the power went out earlier.
Oh no!
God, fucking terrible. All right, well, let's
let's get
wrap-
some food and
so-
get the
so
fuck outta
before
here.
we wrap up, hold on, I got something I got to show you.
Oh no!
So don't forget.
Oh yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah! Look at that! Look at your
The
shirt.
Gus
Oh,
shirt
yeah.
is available in the Rooster Teeth store.
Those of you who are watching right
Very,
now, can see it.
very fashionable.
Those
Shiny
are,
crown.
It's our first time with the foil print.
I haven't actually seen the
those,
foil yet.
those listening
Oh,
to us.
that's sweet.
We filmed Awu with that shirt. You did not see it?
I didn't do I was working.
Well, you were there in the room when we were
Oh,
filming
sorry,
it.
I couldn't see through the back of a shirt you were holding up.
Oh shit!
well,
All right, so
Oh,
check it out.
Gavin.
It's the
T-shirt Tuesday.
It's the next in the fine line of Gus themed T-shirts.
You have more shirts with your face on than probably anyone else in the company, right?
We know what works. we know what's popular. We know what the
seller.
ladies like.
there was one shirt when we first
Johnson over
did animated adventure shirts. There was one that I pitched that was just your six flab
Oh.
on the lower part. I was so disappointed. that shirt
It was like
didn't
a
get made.
tuxedo T-shirt, right? But it was,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
the six
You put it on.
flap.
It's just six flab on your.
I think
on your
yeah,
belly.
we gotta rethink that one. That's pretty
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching our improvised podcast, everyone,
Hey.
or
Cheers.
listening, as the case may be. And we'll be back next week in the studio if we get power back by then.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.